All right, here we go. All right, hello everyone. Happy early Thanksgiving and welcome to our reading of the greatest movie ever made about Thanksgiving, at least, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles by the great John Hughes. We have an amazing small cast here tonight. I'm going to be Neil, played by the great Steve Martin in the film. Logan, of course, is going to play Del Griffith, played by the late great John Candy in the film. We're going to have Anne playing a whole bunch of people, and Travis is here, unfortunately, playing a bunch of people as well. And of course, we have Cass, the most important, doing our scene description. And yeah, so let's do this. We're off to the races.
All right, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles by John Hughes. Sky, clouds, day. A low, heavy winter sky. Dark, pregnant clouds, too fat with snow to move. A white speck distinguishes itself from the dirty gray of the clouds as it falls to camera. It passes camera and we recognize it as a solitary snowflake. Camera pans the snowflake down to see the city of Chicago, thousands of feet below. Dissolve to, close-up snowflake side angle. We follow the snowflake down. Dissolve to, close-up snowflake down angle. Above the snowflake, 5,000 feet. A commercial skyliner passes beneath. Dissolve to, close-up snowflake up angle. The snowflake has distanced itself from the clouds. Dissolve to, close-up snowflake side angle. The winds gently redirect the snowflake. It begins to drift camera left. Dissolve to, you guessed it, a close-up on the snowflake down angle. The new course the snowflake is on finds it traveling north, 2,500 feet, over the north side of the city. Dissolve to, side angle close-up. Camera pulls with the snowflake to see the skyline of Chicago behind it. Dissolve to a down angle close-up. 1,000 feet above the northern suburbs, the snowflake sails over the commuter rail tracks as the train passes. Dissolve to another side angle. Descending through the bare treetops, moving camera left. Dissolve to close-up snowflake down angle. The snowflake floats over the backyard, the slate roof of a solid upper middle class home, across a front yard, over a cobblestone street, a car passes beneath. Close-up snowflake front angle. Camera moves with the snowflake as it drifts over another house, through bare tree branches and down to rest on the frozen lawn. The first snowflake of the first storm of the season. Behind the snowflake, we see a large 2-story red brick house. Last title, end music. Cut on the jarring bleat of an automobile. Exterior, New York City, 58th and Madison, day. The edge of winter, late November, Thanksgiving week, Tuesday. The sky is low and dark. The sidewalks are clogged with pedestrians, bundled against the chill wind blowing down the avenue. Shoulder to shoulder stampede of independent, socially incompatible human units returning to their domiciles after a day's work. Traffic is slow and tangled. Within the protective confines of their rolling pieces of territory, the drivers are more expressive and bold than the foot soldiers on the sidewalks. Exterior street corner. A gangly, emaciated Middle Eastern woman dressed in a Santa Claus suit is chanting a miserable rendition of Deck the Halls in hopes of garnering a handout. Exterior, another street corner. A young man of unspecified origin is hustling knit ski mask. Another corner, a cop is frisking a young boy against the store, barely noticed by the current passerbys. Mid-block, a Salvation Army band is playing Come All Ye Faithful. The music is barely perceptible against the drone of the traffic. On the sidewalk, a woman in a fur coat is walking shoulder to shoulder with a derelict. Exterior bus stop. A portly woman and her 2 children are waiting for the bus. She's holding a box fresh from Turkey. Exterior storefront. A gaudy electronic store, every manner of electronic gadgets surrounding a ghastly plastic turkey. A large, colorful banner announces a Thanksgiving Day sale. Exterior gym building, the white marble tower dwarfing the thousands crossing its plaza. Close up, the watch on a man's wrist, it reads 4:56. A shirt and jacket cuffs slowly slide down over the watch. Close-up sheet of paper, folded in thirds. A man's hand discreetly opens the top fold to reveal a travel itinerary. His index finger scans a line stopping on Depart New York, 6 p.m., Mid-Central 105. Close-up Neil Page, because finally there's people in this movie. A handsome urban man, impeccably dressed, perfectly coiffed, a successful man deeply in control of his life. His eyes shift from the itinerary to the room. Interior conference room day, a cold, stark conference room. Marble table, harsh cove lighting, black leather, high back chairs. Neil and an older man, John Dole, are on one side of the table. Across from him are three middle-aged men, dark suits, white shirts, dark ties. The chairman is in the middle, distinguished from the others only by his position at the head of the table and the collar on his tie. He's studying a series of ad layouts. Close-up ad. It's a slick color composition of a lipstick print ad. Close-up Neil. He looks at his watch again. He's nervous about the time. Close-up man. He's staring at the ad. He can't make up his mind. Close-up John. He looks at Neil. Close-up Neil. He looks at John. Shakes his head in disgust. He taps his watch and mouths, "I've gotta go." Close-up man. His eyes shift from the end to Neil and John, his point of view. Neil is silently insisting that he has to leave. John is silently stating that he understands, but the matter is out of their hands. The two mimes are in a hurry. Close-up man, he returns to the ad. Interior conference room. Neil looks at his watch and leans back in his chair. He's annoyed. The chairman gets the ad down. He looks across the table, opens his mouth to speak. John and Neil lean forward in anticipation of a decision. A pause, and the chairman shuts his mouth and picks up the ad again. Interior lobby elevator bank. Luxury and style, leather and stone. Neil's carrying a briefcase and a two-suiter. He's wearing his overcoat. John is without luggage or his overcoat.
2 solid hours of staring at the layouts to decide to reconvene after the holidays for a fresh look at the material. They're selling cosmetics, not curing cancer.
He sets down his briefcase and presses the down button on the elevator bank.
A lot of their cosmetics may well cause cancer.
Neil unzips his trouser, reaches his hand in the fly, and carefully straightens his shirt tails.
You're not going to the airport?
What's the point of breaking your balls rushing for a 6 o'clock plane? Why don't you go out with me on the 8:15?
I promised Susan I'd be home by 9.
What difference does a couple hours make?
Under normal circumstances, none. But considering the state of affairs in my house these days, it makes all the difference.
The 6 is a pain in the ass. Call and tell Susan it was delayed.
I can't make that one work anymore.
The elevator bell sounds. He picks up his briefcase. He realizes something.
I left my gloves in Walt's office.
He makes a move to return to the office.
Forget it. If you can bring them back with you.
John nods.
I don't need gloves. I get in the elevator, I go to the limousine, I go to the airport, and I'm home.
The elevator doors open and Neil steps in.
Have a good holiday.
That's a contradiction in terms.
The doors close. Interior elevator. Neil's confident that he'll make his plane as he looks at his watch. He notices a tiny smudge on his briefcase. He licks the tip of his thumb and wipes away the smudge. He straightens up and prepares to exit the elevator. Exterior doors. Neil's elevator doors open to reveal a large crowd moving past. Close up on Neil, thundering disappointment. Interior lobby. The elevator crowd moves into the lobby. Neil cranes his neck above the crowd, curls his lip. His point of view, the lobby revolving doors. Through the crowd, we watch a glimpse of the old steamer trunk jammed in the revolving doors. An unseen person is struggling with it. We don't see his face. Close up on Neil, he curses under his breath. He looks at his watch again. Exterior GM building plaza, Neil, day. Neil squeezes out of the conventional door and hurries across the plaza to a waiting limousine. The driver gets out and opens the hood. A plume of steam rises up from the overheated engine. Exterior street corner. A crowd of people waiting for buses and taxis. Neil slips through and takes the frantic look down at the avenue. His point of view, a sea of occupied cabs. Close up Neil, he curses the situation and exits to the street. On the street, he slips between the cars as he crosses the street. On 58th Street, he hurries down, weaving through the pedestrians, throwing an arm up and letting out a sharp whistle whenever he spots what he thinks is an available cab. Close-up cab light. It goes on. Close-up Neil. He spots the cab. He throws his arm up.
Taxi!
His point of view, the cab is he's hailing starts to move to the curb. Close-up man on the street. A broker in his mid-20s spots the light. He whistles. On 58th Street, Neil starts for the cab. 58th, the broker. He sees Neil moving for the cab. It's now a race. His point of view, Neil dashes down the sidewalk, running for the cab. 58, The broker breaks for the cab. 58th Neil. He charges down the sidewalk and cuts between parked cars. The cab is his. As he makes the cut between the cars, he tumbles out of frame. In the exterior street cab, the broker jumps in the cab and slams the door. On Neil, he picks himself up, curses his soiled palms, and checks his wardrobe for damage. A tiny patch of grit on his knee, he brushes it away and turns to see what he tripped over. His point of view, the steamer trunk that caused the delay at the revolving doors sits innocently at the curb between two parked cars. On Neil, he draws back and kicks the trunk. Exterior Park Avenue, more traffic. People hailing cabs, arms waving like palm trees in a typhoon. Exterior Park Avenue lawyer. A middle-aged lawyer in a dark suit and a camel hair overcoat raises an arm to hail a cab. His point of view, an available cab begins to edge towards the curb. It's one lane of traffic away. Exterior 58th and Park. Neil hurries along the sidewalk, rubbing at the nasty scuff mark on his briefcase, muttering to himself. He reaches the corner and glances at his watch. Close-up watch. It reads 5:11. Close-up Neil. He's furious and panicked. He scans the street. His point of view, the cab the lawyer hailed pulls up to the curb. Close-up on Neil, he sees the cab light. Close-up on light, glowing white and free. Exterior street. The man who hailed the cab steps into the street and grabs the handle to enter the cab, but Neil rushes up.
I realize that this is your cab, but I'm desperately late for an airplane. Can I appeal to your good nature and ask that you let me have it?
I don't have good nature. Excuse me.
The man opens the cab door.
Could I offer you 50 for it?
The man hesitates. The cabbie blows his horn. Interior cab. An irritated young lunk bellows out the window.
Come on! Yeah!
Exterior street. The man considers the offer.
$50?
Hey man, shake it or lose it!
50 bucks.
Someone who pay $50 for a cab will certainly pay 75.
Neil glares at him. Damn it, Travis. Behind him, a figure in blue polyester overcoat drags the now familiar steamer trunk, a briefcase and suitcase past.
50 bucks.
Someone who will pay $50 for a cab will certainly pay 75.
So I think this is a repeat. We can skip ahead.
You've already said that, Travis.
Yeah, not necessarily.
The man shrugs and makes a move to get into the cab.
Fine, 75.
Let's make it an even 100.
Neil glares at him.
You're the one in the hurry.
Oh my God. The man has a point. Neil looks at his watch. Close up on watch, it reads 5:15. Exterior street, Neil reaches for his wallet. The man moves away from the cab to receive his money. Neil counts out $100 in 20s.
You're a thief.
Close. I'm an attorney. I got my name.
Shut up, Travis. The cab pulls away from the curb. Neil hands over the money.
Happy holidays.
This'll help.
Neil turns to find the cab gone. He snaps his head down the street. His point of view, the cab has pulled away and is working hard in the traffic flow. Exterior street, he's shocked.
Son of a bitch.
Force, my friend. Force majeure.
Oh my God. He pockets the cash and looks back down the avenue for another cab. Neil takes off after this cab. Exterior street cab. It's stopped at a light, turning left. Neil runs between the waiting cars to the cab. His point of view, a man in his middle 30s, Del Griffith, is opening a package of beef jerky.
And don't give me that Triborough Bridge is faster baloney. I've been in this town quite a few times. If there isn't a cabbie in the Big Apple, who can beat me on a fare.
Exterior cab. Neil grabs the taxi door and whips it open. Close up on Del, his head snaps around as the cab door flies open. He's startled. Close up on Neil, he's livid.
This is my cab, you bastard.
Close up on traffic light that turns from red to green. The cabbie foot close up on the cab foot pedals. A greasy sneaker lifts off the brake pedal and slams down on the gas pedal. Close up on Neil, he disappears as the cab pulls away. Exterior street, the cab lurches ahead. Neil jumps back. The briefcase goes flying again. Close up on pavement, the case hits a deck and is nailed by a bus tire. Exterior street, Neil, he's standing in the middle of the moving traffic. Defeat. Exterior LaGuardia Airport, wide, full shot. night. A horrible jam of cars and buses. Exterior arrival zone, bus. A huge, dirty airport bus is parked at curbside. The door opens with a gasp, releasing a parade of tourists, families, seniors, foreigners, bottom end business types, and finally, Neil Page. He's holding his briefcase by the handle, which is hanging from the case by a single fastener. He's perfectly annoyed. He silently urges the people along. Interior airport lobby, ticket counter, a long line. Neil looks out from the end of the line. His point of view, solid people. Interior lobby, ticket counter, a harried female ticket agent is tapping on her computer. Smoking or non-smoking?
Smoking or non-smoking?
Close up Del Griffith. He's considering the question.
Smoking or non? It's a good question. I'm trying to quit, so I like the non-smoking because it forces me to lay off the butts. But then if we hit some turbulence and I get shaky, I like to smoke.
Smoking or non-smoking?
Del thinks as he clicks his tongue.
Can I get an aisle seat in the last row of the non-smoking section so that if I change my mind, I can ask someone to switch? If you don't have an aisle, I'll take window. But if I have middle seats, I'll go non-smoking because if I don't have enough elbow room, I cheese everyone off reaching for my smokes. Before you answer it, let me say that I've noticed you're wearing a wedding ring, and I just want to say that your husband is a very lucky man, and your perfume is heavenly.
He smiles warmly.
And if you wouldn't mind double checking to see if this is a frequent flyer bonus flight, if so, could you make sure that I'm credited? I'm saving for a little weekender in Vegas. I'm up for the Oak Ridge boys. They're at the Stardust in July.
Close up on Neil's watch. It reads 5:49. Interior airport lobby counter. The person ahead of Neil finishes, picks up his briefcase, and exits. Neil steps to the counter. His face drops. His point of view, the agent puts a sign on the counter and it reads, position closed. Interior corridor night. Neil's running full out down the corridor. He rounds a corner and comes to a stop. In the corner security checkpoint, there's a huge crowd, another long line. In the corridor security checkpoint, again, Del Griffith is the cause of the delay. He's emptying his pockets of anything metal. A security guard is scanning him with a handheld metal detector.
You have no idea how often this happens to me.
The guard isn't interested in this conversation.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. You're doing your job and I appreciate it. I'm the last person who will give you flack, believe me. I have a buddy in Houston who has a metal plate in his head. He doesn't have the time with you fellas. Holy Toledo.
The guard is getting a loud reading at Del's feet. Close up on Del's foot, the guard lifts the pant leg to reveal, stuck in the back of his cushioned sole loafer, a shoehorn. He pulls it out. The guard shows Del the shoehorn.
Son of a gun. I was wondering where my damn foot hurt all day. Isn't that something? I've lost like 8 miles with that in my shoe.
The guard dismisses him. Del takes his sample case and his briefcase and waddles off down the corridor. Interior airport departure gate. A crowd of business flyers have besieged the gate counter. Interior airport security point. Neil rushes through security scan and waits for his briefcase to come through X-ray. Close up on X-ray conveyor belt, the contents of the briefcase followed by Neil's open briefcase. Interior security point, Neil scrambles to retrieve the debris from the moving belts. In the airport departure gate, Neil arrives at the gate, his smashed briefcase clenched under his arm, ticket in hand. Close up on Del. Yet again, Del is the cause of the delay.
I ordered a special meal. Any way you can let me know if it's confirmed?
Close up on agent. He hands Del his ticket.
I'll let you know on board.
Close up on Del. He smiles.
You're doing your job and I appreciate it. Thanks. I like you. I like your airline.
He gives the guy a wink and turns to face Neil. Close up Neil. He recognizes Del as the person who jumped his cab. Neil and Del. Del recognizes Neil.
I know you. I'm very good with names, but darn if I haven't forgotten yours.
You stole my cab.
Neil steps around Del to the counter. Del's puzzled. He doesn't know what Neil is saying.
I stole a cab?
He taps Neil on the shoulder and Neil turns.
I never stole anything in my life.
I hailed a cab at 58th and Park this afternoon. Before I could get in it, you took it.
It hits Del where he's seen Neil. He snaps his fingers.
You're the guy who tried to jump in my cab. You scared the bejesus out of me.
Neil turns back to the counter. Dell thinks for a beat and he taps Neil. Neil turns.
The cab was just sitting there. I jumped in. Come to think of it, it was awfully easy to come by in rush hour.
Forget about it.
Well, I can't forget about something like that. How about if I pay you a Frankfurt and a beer and call it even?
No thanks. I just want to check in and get on board.
Well, if you're on the 909 to Chicago, you have plenty of time.
Huh?
Dell points past Neil to the ticket counter. Neil turns. His point of view, the ticket agent has removed the departure time and is replacing it with one that reads delayed. Close up on Neil, he stares at the sign. The rush was for nothing. Exterior house evening. The house we saw in the title sequence, Neil's house. It's snowing like crazy. A phone rings over. Interior kitchen evening. Bright and warm, a 2-year-old boy, Seth, is in a high chair, and the kitchen table is a 4-year-old boy, little Neil, a 7-year-old girl, Marty, and Neil's wife, Susan. She's in her mid-30s, attractive and strong. She gets her up to answer the phone.
Keep your fingers out of Marty's food. You keep your tongue in your mouth.
I didn't do anything, did I?
No, you're waiting until I get on the phone. Hello?
Her cheery demeanor evaporates.
Who is it? Who are you? Who is it? Shh, it's Daddy.
Marty knows immediately what the conversation is about. She informs her siblings.
Flight delay.
Interior airport night. Neil's on the payphone. A couple other men are making the same call.
You're not going to believe what happened.
Interior kitchen, Sue, evening. She knows exactly what happened.
You raced to the airport, nearly killed yourself, and when you got to the gate, the flight was delayed.
Close up on Neil. His mouth is frozen open. She's stolen his words. Close up on Sue. She relents.
I know you can't prevent flight delays. You can prevent traveling immediately before a holiday. I asked you not to, but you had your priorities.
Interior airport on Neil. He rolls his eyes. Close up on Sue. She knows exactly what Neil is going to do.
And don't roll your eyes.
Interior airport on Neil. He's getting nowhere.
Honey, I don't run the airline.
Close up on Sue. She doesn't like his attitude.
I'm not arguing on the phone. I'll see you when you get home.
She hangs up the phone. Interior flight lounge later. Neil's sitting in a row of seats reading a newspaper. He lowers his paper and looks at his shoe. A little dirt on the toe of his expensive Italian slip-ons. He brushes the dirt away. Something catches his eye. His point of view, Dell is directly across from him in the facing seats. He has a cigarette in his mouth, a cardboard food box with a pair of jumbo hot dogs in it. He's applying mustard from individual packets. He takes a final drag on the smoke, snuffs it out in the smoker, and takes a huge bite of the hot dog and lets the cigarette smoke trail out of his nose. Neil, he's revolted. He lifts his newspaper to shield himself from the sights. Close up on the wall clock, it reads 7 o'clock. Interior flight lounge, Neil's doing a crossword puzzle. He's in shirt sleeves. He lowers the magazine and sniffs. Some horrible odor is disturbing his reading. He looks down. His point of view, stocking feet. One foot scratches the other. We move up from the feet to Dell. He's chomping on a toothpick, reading a pornographic novel. He raises his free hand to his ear, inserts his baby finger, twists it tight in the ear canal, and rubs violently. Neil goes back to his magazine. Close up on the wall clock, it reads 8 o'clock. Interior flight lounge, Neil. He's fallen asleep in the chair, stirs and lifts his head. He yawns and blinks his eyes. He looks across the lounge. His point of view, Dell's seat is empty. The luggage is gone. All that remains is rubbish. Cigarette ashes, drink cups, a worn pair of Dr. Scholl's foot pads, newspapers, magazines, napkins, candy wrappers, and condiment packets. Close up on Neil, he looks around for Dell, left and right. His point of view, departure area, no sign of Dell. His point of view, corridor, no Dell. Interior airport departure area, Neil gets up and heads down the corridor. Interior men's room, Neil walks in. We hear loud whistling. Neil stops and looks. His point of view, Dell's in his undershirt, face lathered, razor in hand, kit open on the sink. He looks around and sees Neil. He smiles.
Howdy, traveler.
Neil returns the lame smile and crosses to the urinal. Dell continues shaving.
On the road quite a bit. I am. I know these airlines like the back of my hand. An hour delay means an hour and a half. Your nickel against my nuts. It's snowing in Chi-Town. It's the damn lake. All that moisture. Chicago goes and the whole national air transportation system takes a dump. You know, if you told me it was raining rabbit pellets in Chicago, I believe you. Bad weather town. Great pizza. You know, the best hot dogs in the world. Great parks. Damn nice zoo. Good aquarium. Excellent art museum. Although I've never been there personally. Knowledgeable cab drivers, though. Good newspapers. Nice hotels. A bit high priced, but comfortable. Do you enjoy blues music? Blues? You like blues?
He turns. His point of view, Neil's gone. Dell is surprised that Neil left, a little disappointed. Interior bathroom, another passenger walks in. Dell smiles at him.
You see that guy that just walked out? Hell of a nice guy. Salt of the earth.
Close-up departure gate sign. The delayed sign has been replaced with another that reads, now boarding. Interior airplane night. Neil's at the door of the plane arguing with a stewardess. As he argues, the first class cabin behind him fills with pilots, stewardesses, and children.
This is something you should have discussed with the ticket agent.
I couldn't discuss it with the ticket agent because I didn't know he put me in coach.
I'm sorry, I can't help you. First class is full.
I have a first class ticket.
You have a coach seat assignment.
A deadheading pilot slips around Neil into a first class seat.
Hi, Larry.
The pilot tips his hat to her.
Save your boarding pass and you'll get a refund on the difference.
I don't want a refund. I want a seat in first class where I belong, where I was booked and ticketed.
I have to ask you to take your seat.
First you delay me, then you bump me. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Close up on girl, a beautiful young college girl on her way home from school. She looks up and smiles from her aisle seat. Interior plane coach section. Neil slips into the middle seat. He steps over the girl's leg, sits down, big smile. Coach doesn't look to be as bad as he feared. A priority middle-aged woman with breathing disorders in the window seat. She's eating Doritos, lost in thought. Neil pays her little mind.
You want to pause?
What? Are you Tamara?
Can we pause?
Oh,
Can we
sorry. Yeah.
pause?
I'm Tamara.
Neil Page.
Do you fly a lot?
Quite a bit, yes.
He bends over to stow his briefcase under the seats. A stewardess leans over the girl and whispers to her.
I'm usually up in first, but I got bumped, so I'm...
The girl shows her ticket to the stewardess. She points down the aisle. The girl gets up from her seat. Close up on Neil. Neil turns to what he thinks is the girl. His biggest smile quickly dissolves. Close up on Del Griffith. He's scuttling into the girl's seat. Big, surprised grin.
Well, what do you know? Is this a coincidence or what?
Close up on Neil. He looks away and closes his eyes. He can't believe what's happening to him. Del attaches his seatbelt extender and secures himself. He adjusts his groin, puffs on his cigarette. Del and Neil. Del introduces himself.
Oh, you know, I never introduced myself. Del Griffin.
Neil Page.
Nice to know you.
Neil looks at Del's paw, reluctantly takes it. Del pumps his arm.
I'm with American Light and Fixture, Director of Sales, Shower Curtain Rings Division. I sell curtain rings, the best in the world.
Del reaches into his vest pocket and withdraws a 5x3 flat plastic case. He opens it and shows the contents to Neil. Close up on case, it's a display case for a line of shower curtain rings. Del and Neil. Del snaps the case shut and returns it to his pocket.
What's your business, Neil Page?
Marketing.
Marketing. Super. I love marketing. Do a little of that game myself.
He reaches under the seat, pops his briefcase open, and pulls out a calendar. He flips it open and
Okay.
shows it to Neil. Close up on calendar, a busty naked girl in a shower holding curtain rings. Del and Neil. Neil winces at the unpleasant photo. Del flips the calendar closed and offers it to Neil.
This is my idea. Keep it.
No thanks.
Go ahead. I have plenty.
Neil shakes his head.
Take it for Pete's sake.
Neil takes the calendar.
Now, if you've got shower curtains in your home, there's a 50-50 chance that the rings holding it up were sold to your supplier by me. I like to kid people that if there weren't for shower curtain rings, generally probably wouldn't have caught her lunch in Psycho. You see that flick?
Neil nods yes.
I like to joke, but that one was no joke. See, I was new to the business when that baby hit the silver screen, and that shower murder left a crap stain on the reputation of shower curtains the size of Texas. Pebble glass shower doors took a big bite out of our sales for several years. We're back on our feet now. We're doing good. The young people going to their first homes don't have the same phobia about showers that their parents had. Not Alfred Hitchcock. You know what? You know that Birds film did the parakeet sales? El Dumpo, Jack, Sewer City. A good friend of mine lost his shirt. You use curtains or doors in your home?
Neil stares at him.
Doors. Hell, no sweat off my back. I'm just happy to have someone to talk to. I finished my book about an hour ago. Filthy goddamn thing. When you travel as much as I do, you run out of reading material. If it's been published, I've read it. Fiction, nonfiction, the classics, Robbins, Crayons, Rebecca. You name it, I've read it. I got so hard up last week on a layover in Atlanta. I read a biography of Prince. That's not his real name, by the way. It's Rogers Nelson.
Neil smiles politely.
I don't want to be rude, but I really have a lot of work to do.
Oh, don't let me stand in your way. The last thing I want to be is an annoying blabbermouth. Nothing grinds my gears worse than some chowderhead who doesn't know when to keep his big trap shut. Well, they've got no smoking signs. They ought to have no talking signs. Am I right? There'd be plenty of times where I would have switched that sucker on, believe you me. If you catch me running off with the mouth, just give me a good poke in the chops.
Dell reaches into his seat pocket in front of him and removes the airline magazine. Neil bends over and opens his crushed briefcase. He takes out a bound report. Dell glances down at the briefcase.
Man, what the heck happened to your briefcase? Looks like a vehicle ran over it.
Cab.
What a shame. What'd you pay for it?
Neil is reluctant to answer. It's none of Dell's business.
Gift? Mine too. Gift from the company for getting the shower curtain contract for the U.S. Navy. You know how many rings that baby was worth?
I have no idea.
Try 37 million.
Neil smiles and opens his report.
I figured over the next year, several millions of sailors are going to use those showers with our rings. And if they take the time to inquire about those rings and they feel like they're good rings, well, when they get out of the service and consider shower rings, they'll select ours.
Can you excuse me?
Oh, I'm being a blabbermouth, aren't I?
Neil sighs. Dell's driving him mad.
I really have to finish.
Dell holds up his hand, cutting Neil off. He leans back in his seat and opens the magazine. Neil opens his report. They both read for a few minutes, and Dell lowers his magazine.
You know why we're not taking off? Bet you $3 in my left nut. Chicago's socked in.
Exterior Chicago O'Hare Airport. The beginning of a major snowstorm. Exterior the Loop. Snow is piling up. Exterior Neil's house. Snowing. Interior Neil's house. Marty's room. Susan is tucking Marty in.
When will Daddy be home? Soon. Well, I get to see Grandma and Grandpa first. Will Daddy? Something. Grandma and Grandpa aren't coming until tomorrow afternoon. Daddy will be here when you wake up. Will he come home to school to see me write my poem? Of course.
She kisses Marty, crosses to the door, and turns off the light. She glances back into the room. Her point of view, Marty's window. A curtain of snow is falling outside the window. Interior airport coach section. Wide. Later. The airport is aloft. Dinner is being served. Dell and Neil. They've been served. Dell is about to sail into the seafood salad he ordered in advance. Neil is staring at a grotesque, thrice-cooked square of lasagna. He taps it with his fork.
I always order the special meal. On this airline, I go with the seafood salad. On American, I go with the kosher plate. United, I say I'm a youngster and I get the kiddie plate. Hot dog, potato chips, a gherkin, and a little package of Oreos.
What is this?
Dell looks at his meal.
About 7 hours ago, it was lasagna. Now there's no telling. When a flight's delayed, that crap gets heated and reheated again. So by the time it's served, it's like that. I knew a gal who worked for one of the airline food contractors. She lost the tip of her finger slicing carrots. Son of a gun went right into the pot. She never did find it. She thinks it was served on Singapore run. Isn't that something?
Neil looks at the lasagna with revulsion.
If you would like not to proceed with the meal, I'll take it off your hands.
Neil gestures to Dell that he's free to sail in. Dell spears the sad little cube with his fork and gladly moves it to his plate. Neil senses that he's being watched. He glances to the window. His point of view, the woman in the seat next to him is smiling at him. She looks down at his tray. Close-up tray. A wilted salad, a rolled and sealed cup of salad dressing is all that remains. Interior plane, Neil and the woman. He offers the woman the salad. She gladly takes it. She points to the cup of salad dressing. Neil gives it to her. She points to the roll He allows her to take it for herself. She points to his watch and smiles. He politely shakes his head no. Exterior O'Hare Airport. Planes parked covered with snow. Interior flights and screens. Flights info screens. In quick succession, the flights are canceled, one after the other, up and down the screens. Interior O'Hare stranded passengers loiter about the airport. Interior plane first class cabin. Larry, the pilot, is glancing through a magazine in his spacious window seat. He's sipping an after-dinner drink. The aisle seat is empty. The stewardess we saw earlier is sitting on the arm of the aisle seat.
You sure I can't get you anything else? Mile High Club, cheese, fruit? Oh, I'm Larry too. No thanks, Liz. Why don't you sit down? The seat is empty.
The stewardess slips into the empty seats. Interior plane wide. Later, the lights are out except for the occasional reading lamp. Interior plane on Neil. Neil's sipping coffee, going over his water-stained papers. He gets down to the report and looks at his watch. He glances at Dell. His point of view, Dell's facing him, just inches away, eyes closed, mouth open, toothpick dangling from his lip, snoring like a sow. His calculator watch arm is beeping. Close up on Neil, staring at Dell. His point of view, Dell opens his eyes.
$6 in my right nut. We're not landing in Chicago.
He shuts off his watch alarm and goes back to sleep. Exterior Neil's house night. The snow is piling up. A telephone rings over. Interior house foyer. Night. It's dark. We hear the phone ringing. Interior bedroom. Susan's asleep. She stirs, fumbles for the phone, and answers.
Where are you?
Interior Wichita Airport corridor. Neil's on a payphone.
Why am I in Wichita? Because we couldn't land in Chicago.
Interior Neil's house bedroom. Susan's in bed. She's angry.
I don't understand what Wichita has to do with the snowstorm in Chicago. Is there something going on, Neil?
Interior airport. Neil rests his head against the wall.
All that's going on is I'm in Wichita. We left New York, and in flight, they closed Chicago. We landed in Wichita. I didn't call for grief. I called to let you know where I was.
Interior airport Dell. He's sitting in a departure lounge, smoking, watching Neil. His point of view, Neil's across the corridor, talking on the phone. Close up on Dell, he studies Neil. Close up on Neil, he continues his conversation.
I'm doing the best I can. I'll be home as soon as possible. I have a key. I'll let myself in. Maybe if you're real lucky, the plane will go down.
Interior house bedroom. Susan resents that remark.
Yeah, that's a real nice thing for a father to say. If you're coming home with an attitude, I'd rather you didn't come home at all. And I don't mean that in a mortal sense. Good night.
She hangs up the phone. In frustration, she socks the pillow. She turns off the light and buries herself in the covers. Interior airport on Neil. He hangs up the phone, curses under his breath, and starts back down the corridor. Dale calls to him.
Neil,
Neil stops and turns. Dale gets up from his seat and shuffles to the corridor.
little trouble on the home front?
As far as Neil's concerned, his home life is none of Dale's business.
What sounded like things were getting a little testy.
I don't think that's any of your concern.
Yeah, probably not. I thought you might want to air some feelings.
I don't.
You know, the finest line a man will ever walk is between success at work and success at home. You know what my motto is? Love your wife, love your work.
A polite pause. Neil isn't accepting advice from Dale.
I'll remember that. What's the flight situation?
Simple. There is no way on earth we're taking off from here tonight. We have more luck playing pickup sticks with our butt cheeks than getting out of here before daybreak.
There are other airlines.
Yeah, one goes belly up, the others are sure to follow. I may not know the price of eggs in Sweden, but I know the U.S. air transport system, and when you waylay in Wichita and route to Chicago, you're up the creek. I venture to say Old Man Winter's busting records in Chicago right now.
Neil's a little worried that Dell may be right, but he's not prepared to take any advice.
Well, I guess I'll find out soon enough.
By the time you wait for an airline to pull the plug in the flight, which they will sooner or later, you'll have an easier time finding a three-legged ballerina in a hotel room. I know Wichita. I know airlines. I know the hotel scene. They start diverting flights here and you don't book a room, you're looking at a couple nights on a dirty floor.
You're saying I'll be stuck in Wichita?
I'm saying you are stuck in Wichita.
Close up on Neil, a look of alarm. Interior airport flight lounge, boarding counter, night. An airline representative addresses the crowd over the PA.
I'm sorry to inform you that we're canceling flight 909 due to severe weather in Chicago. On behalf of everyone at Mid Central Air, I'd like to extend my deepest apologies for any inconvenience we may have caused you and wish you the happiest of holidays. Thank you.
He clicks off and prepares for the onslaught. Close up on Neil. He rests his head against the cold glass.
Shit.
Interior baggage area. Dell's dragging his trunk across the floor to the doors. He has his sample case, suitcase, and briefcase resting on it. Neil's at the door with his two-suiter over his arm, his crushed briefcase under the other.
How many times have I been right so far?
I've lost count.
Did you book a room?
I couldn't get in anywhere.
I've been waylaid more times than I can remember. A day here, 2 days there. Once I was stuck in Cheyenne for 4 days, just waiting to get to Denver. I prepared.
You got a room?
As soon as I got off the plane, you called home. I called the Interstate Inn.
I missed that one.
Most people do, but they'll be plenty popular tonight. I'll tell you what, I know the manager of the Interstate Inn pretty well. Sold him the rings for his showers. You pick up the cab fare, I'll see that he puts you up.
For the first time in hours, Neil brightens.
Grab an end, will you?
Neil sets his briefcase on top of the trunk and lifts an end. He finds it extremely heavy. He and Dell lug the trunk down the corridor.
How far away is this place?
Oh, it's just the road a piece.
Close up on taxi meter nights. It reads $124.50. Exterior highway taxi cab. It's a 1966 Pontiac Bonneville. It's riding high off the ground on hydraulic shocks. It's painted ruby red. On the side in hot red script, it says the words Chariot of Sin. Pipes just out the sides, mud flaps adorn the wheels. A large spoiler is affixed to the trunk. The hood is protected by an automotive bra. Curb feelers stick out from the wheel wells like whiskers. A great long antenna flails about in the wind. Extra lights abound. Great flat tires with wire wheels. Breasts are painted on the different. What is this car? A huge spotlight protrudes from the driver's window. A loudspeaker is attached to the roof and a pair of ominous ram bars grace the front bumper. Interior cab back seat. Dell and Neil are sunken in the back seat. It's all fuzzy, electric plush, day glow, and glitter. The rear window is hung with air fresheners and nudie rubbish. The ceiling is plastered with centerfold shots. The taxi is a mobile shrine to squalid sex. Dell is quite comfortable. Neil is in a state of acute excretion. Neil's uncomfortable. He keeps his limbs in close, lest they come in contact with some filthy substances. He's looking forward at the back of the driver's head. Neil's point of view, something, shoulders encased in an ancient and thoroughly filthy leather jacket, atop a thick neck speckled with pockmarks and errant hairs is a rather small head fastened with a very ill-fitting toupee. The toupee is black and the hair beneath is gray-brown. The toupee rests slightly away from the natural hairline, about midway down the head. This is so specific. Past his body, we see an enormous furry steering wheel with a Necker's knob and equally furry dashboard glowing with dials, gauges, and lights. A two-way radio delivers a constant stream of chatter from a base somewhere. Interior cab backseat. Neil whispers to Dell.
Where is the hell is the motel?
Dell looks out the window. He doesn't recognize anything. He leans forward and talks to the driver.
How much longer, Doobie?
A hefty middle-aged greaser turns to reveal a tremendous, glistening black wave of artificial hair. Sideburns that would have shamed Elvis, a toothpick in his teeth.
Not much.
He gives Neil a wink and turns back.
Just out of curiosity, why didn't you take the interstate?
You said your friend's never been here, so I thought he might like to have a look around. You don't see nothing on the interstate but interstate.
It's the middle of the night.
He's proud of his town. It's pretty darn rare these days.
Exterior motel night. Just off the highway, an anonymous cinder block rectangle, the kind of place you stay in once. Emergency shelter. Trucks parked everywhere. The taxi pulls in and rumbles to a stop. Interior lobby. Fake wood and Naugahyde. A tiny front desk, 2 sofas, a rack of tourist info, a payphone, a newspaper box, and an easel with a cardboard sign with words in glitter. Lisa Pellstrom's accordion review. Dell and Neil lugged the trunk into the lobby and set it down.
Evening, Gus.
The desk clerk stands up from his chair where he's sitting watching TV.
Dale Griffith, how the hell are you?
Still $1 million shy of being a millionaire. How are you?
I was doing pretty good there for a while, but Sunday I pissed my pants during 60 minutes, so I guess I got to go back in for more plumbing work.
Ooh, tough break, Gus. I'd like to meet an old friend of mine. This is Neil Page. Neil, this is Gus Mooney.
Gus reaches his hand across the desk and Neil shakes it.
Glad to meet you.
Likewise.
Now, we were flying into Chicago from New York, and a storm brought us here.
I know all about it. I must got half your flight already booked in. Now tell me, Dale, am I just getting old, or are they letting fat gals be stewardess these days? I mean,
Well, times change, Gus. I told Neil you'd be able to fix them up.
Gus clucks his tongue.
you know, Dale, I'd rather shoot arrows out my ass than disappoint you or a friend of yours, but I'm booked solid. I got 3 of these fat gals sharing a single, as it is 1 twin and 2 coats, and then 2 coats are really built for youngsters.
Those
be cots?
cots.
Cots. I didn't see the T.
You saw the T in coats, but not in cots?
True.
Neil looks at Dell with a sigh.
Nothing, Gus?
If old Herbert Hoover come back from the dead and needed a room for the night, I couldn't help him. Sorry.
If you don't mind a little snoring, you can bunk with me.
No, I couldn't.
You spend $150 getting here. You want to blow that and then more to go sleep at the airport?
That's all right. I'll be fine.
I'm straight, if that's a worry.
Neil chuckles.
Hey, no skin off my nose if you sleep in a chair.
I can't impose on you like that.
Tell you what, you pick up the room tab, and I won't be imposed 1 iota.
Neil shrugs. He has no choice. Gus slides a form and a pen across the counter.
You have a credit card?
Neil reaches for his wallet and takes out his American Express card. Gus takes it. Dell reaches into his pocket and takes out his wallet.
I have my discount room card. Can you accept it?
I'll have to charge you for double, but with the discount, it'll come out even. It'll go a lot smoother with my bookkeeping if you note that you and Dell are Mr. and Mrs. whatever your last name is.
Neil stares at him. He looks at Dell. Dell shrugs. Dell hands Gus his discount card. Gus turns to the desk in his credit card machine.
Had an old geezer die in his sleep last night in your room. Had to bring in a new mattress in from my brother's place in Salinas.
That does sound like a thing Travis would tell you. Gus slides the imprinter over the credit card and the charge slip. He replaces the credit card with Dell's discount card.
Gee, I hope it wasn't somebody I knew.
Fritz Obermann?
Dell smacks the counter.
Oh, damn.
And if it was contagious.
How'd he go, Gus?
He just blew up. It was one of those things, I guess, just blew up.
I've read about those things.
Gus turns to the counter with the credit card receipt and the 2 cards. He lays one down on the counter and hands the other one to Dell. Close up on Dell's wallet, Dell slides Neil's American Express card into his wallet. Close up on counter, Dell's discount card, which is similar to the American Express card, is picked up by Neil. Interior lobby, Neil puts the card in his wallet without noticing the error. Gus takes the form Neil filled out. He hands Neil a key.
You're all set. Best room in the complex.
Interior motel room. It's dark. The door opens and Dell walks in. He turns on the light. Neil looks in. His face drops. His point of view, a tiny room with a double bed. Neil and Dell. Neil is horrified. Dell's excited.
No bedspreads.
Interior motel room, bathroom, shower. Neil's standing in the shower with his face to the spray. He enjoys the relaxing heat and clean. Something occurs to him. He moves his head out of the spray and looks up. His point of view, the shower curtain rings. Interior room, Dale's in his pajamas and robe. He takes a pillow framed photograph out of his trunk. He fondly looks at the photo. Close up on photo, it's a young woman, friendly and comfortable and smiling like a crest ad. The photo's probably 15 years old. Interior room, Dale kisses the picture and sets it on the nightstand next to the bed. He closes the trunk and slides it against the wall. He takes his kit out of the suitcase, closes it, and puts it on top of the trunk and turns on the TV. He dials in a religious program. He slips the quarter into the bed vibrator and lays down. Interior shower, Neil reaches for the soap, stops short. His point of view, the soap dish, a tiny bar of soap covered with hair. Close up on Neil, he carefully holds the disgusting bar of soap to the spray to wash the hair away. He senses a presence and turns slowly to his left. His point of view, through the translucent shower curtain, he sees the outline of Dell sitting on the john reading a paper. Close up on Neil, he's horrified at Dell's casualness. Interior motel hallway. A pimply teenage boy shuffles down the hall holding a six-pack and a large cardboard pizza box. He stops outside Dell's room and knocks. Interior room, we hear loud knocking on the door. The bed's vibrating. Dell yells off camera.
I'll be with you in a minute.
Close up on Neil, a look of abject terror as he misinterprets Dell's remark. Close up on toilet handle. Dell's hand pushes the lever down, flushing the toilet. Oh, that's not gonna go well. Interior room. Dell strolls out of the bathroom with his newspaper under his arm. In the shower, Neil shrieks as the water temperature changes from flushing of the toilet. Interior room. Dell opens the door. The pizza boy offers the pizza and a beer.
How much?
$9-10.
Dell takes the pizza and the beer. The pizza boy, I can't read most of this. Something
You can
about the
just get to the
shower
next page, yeah.
and notices the bathroom door. There's an outline of the body in the shower. Close up on the pizza boy, a sly smile. His point of view, Neil leans out of the shower, revealing himself to be male. He gropes for the shampoo. His eyes are closed so he doesn't see the pizza boy. Creepy. Close up on pizza boy. He's horrified and quickly closes the door. Interior room, Dell sets the pizza on top of his suitcase and six-pack on the vibrating bed. He looks around for his wallet. He sees Neil's pants hanging over the chair. He hesitates for a moment, throws a look to the bathroom, fishes out the wallet, extracts the 20, crosses back to the pizza boy and pays him.
Keep it.
This is a 20.
Yes, it is.
The pizza was $19.
Yes, and I believe that's what you said. The extra is for you. Put it towards the college fund.
That's like only what, like 5% tip?
Well, you're good with figures. You'll do well in college.
You know what? Something tip.
Dell shoves the boy out the door.
Well, I call it a full dollar.
$1?
Yeah, 100 pennies, all yours. Put it to a college fund.
Got any more?
Nope.
Dale closes the door on the kid. He crosses to the pizza and opens the box. Close up on pizza, it's the ugliest pizza ever made. Cheese, sausage, olives, green peppers, jalapenos, kraut, bacon, beans, corn, anchovies. Gross. Interior room, Dale scoops a piece of the abomination out of the box.
Dinner's here.
Interior bathroom shower. Neil pulls open the curtain to reveal a completely ransacked bathroom. Towels on the floor, sink half filled with scary water, toothpaste on the countertop, flecks on the mirror, toilet paper unraveled. Close up on Neil. He's revolted. Looks for a towel. His point of view, from a wad of used towels and a puddle on the floor to a towel rack with 2 washcloths. A hand reaches for them. Close up on Neil, he dries his hair with the washcloths. Interior room, Dell's in the vibrating bed, eating pizza, watching TV. A few beats and the bed stops vibrating. Neil comes out of the bathroom in his boxer shorts.
Do you realize that you used all the towels?
Well, I'm pretty big and they were pretty small. I'm sorry, that wasn't too neighborly of me.
And almost all the toilet paper.
Those New York hot dogs. I'm guilty.
You left the bathroom a filthy mess.
I'm not used to a roommate.
Neil sniffs and makes a horrible face.
What smells?
Well, the pizza came.
That's pizza?
It's good. I saved you a piece.
I asked you to order me a salad.
They didn't have a salad. I had them put extra vegetables on the pizza.
Neil opens the box and looks into it. He makes another face and takes the box around to the front of the bed and sits down. He scoops out the last slice and takes a bite.
Oh, horrible. If I wasn't so hungry, I'd throw up.
Yeah, wash it down with a beer.
Neil sets the pizza down and pulls a beer off the six-pack.
Warm?
What comes out warm, what the hell difference does it make how it goes in? Here, toss one.
Neil tosses Dell the beer. He takes another. He and Dell open simultaneously. The vibrating bed has sufficiently shaken the beer to provide a double beer explosion. Interior room later. The lights are out. Dell and Neil are in bed. It's quiet.
I'd switch pillows with you, but I'd sneeze all night. I carry my own pillow. It's hypoallergenic. I have no idea those beers are going to blow up like that.
You had the beer on a vibrating bed. What did you think was going to happen?
It's been a long day. It didn't occur to me.
It didn't occur to you, so I have to sleep in a puddle of beer.
I'm sleeping in pizza. You want to switch?
No, I want to sleep.
Same here. I'm bushed.
Good night.
Sleep tight.
There's a long pause. Dell strikes a match and lights a cigarette.
What are you doing?
Covered in butt.
In bed?
You have a problem with that?
A big problem.
I'm not going to fall asleep.
I'd rather not risk it. I don't smoke. Smoke annoys me, especially in the dark in bed.
Well, I always have a smoke before I go to sleep.
Neil switches on the light.
I was on my way home to spend a nice holiday with my family, and instead I'm in a motel bed with a stranger 500 miles away from my house, and I don't know how or when I'll be there. I'm a patient man. I'm paying for the room. I paid for the cab.
And you pay for the pizza, too.
I did.
Well, all I had was 100. The kid didn't have any change.
You went in my wallet.
Are you mad?
You have no right to go in my wallet.
What was I supposed to do? I had to pay for the pizza. You were showering. Would you want me to send some punk kid in to look at your dick?
You stay out of my stuff.
I'm not interested in your stuff.
Good.
In fact, I'm bored with your stuff.
Oh, what, you looked?
I didn't look.
Then why are you bored with it?
It's a figure of speech.
Bullshit, you went through my bags.
Dell jumps up on the defense.
How did I know you weren't some kind of shady guy? I'm not sleeping with a stranger without knowing a little about him. What if you had a gun in your bag? I've been on the road too long and to not know how to take a precaution or two.
Did I go through your stuff?
I don't know. Did you?
No, I did not. And I'm mad as hell that you went through mine.
2 suits, 2 dirty shirts, some stale shorts, and some skin magazines.
Neil's embarrassed.
Don't sweat it, Neil. There's a reason every hotel newsstand sells those kind of magazines. There isn't a married man alive that hasn't.
You done with your goddamn cigarette?
Dell takes the one last puff. He drops it in the beer can and swishes it out.
Done.
Neil turns off the light. He settles back into bed. There's another long pause. Dell clears his throat, loud and graphic. He
What are you doing? Why? Well, don't bother.
Loud snoring?
No, I don't.
Then let me clear my pipes.
Dell snorts a couple more times. The room falls silent for another long beat.
What?
There's a long pause. Neil rips the covers off and jumps out of bed. He turns on the light, grabs his pants, and slips them on.
Just being honest, for Christ's sake. I could have sneaked it on you.
Neil grabs his shirt.
Where are you going?
I'm sleeping in the lobby.
Oh, come on. I'll go in the John.
He pulls back the covers and slides his legs over the side of the bed.
If your kid shits his trousers, do you smack him?
Neil steps at the door. He throws a look at Dell.
What the hell are you talking about?
You're not a very tolerant person.
I'm a very tolerant person.
Oh, really?
Look, you've been under my skin since New York. You ripped off my cab.
I know all this. You paid for the room, the pizza, but you're a tight ass.
How would you like a mouthful of teeth?
You're hostile too. Nice personality combination. Hostile and intolerant. That's borderline criminal.
Screw you. You spill beer all over the bed. You smoke. You make a mess of the bathroom.
And I let you stay in my room. I let you pay for it so you wouldn't feel like an intruder, which you most certainly are.
Oh, I'm an intruder.
You're an intruder. I was having a nice trip until you walked into my life.
I walked into your life? Who talked my ear off on the plane?
Who told you to book a room? Out of the goodness of my dumb old heart, I offered you help. You're an ungrateful jackass. Go sleep in lobby. Go ahead. Hope you wake up so stiff you can't move.
Neil hesitates at the door.
You saw me coming. You're no saint. You get a free room, free cab, and somebody who'll listen to your boring stories.
Dell glares at Neil.
You want to hurt me? Go ahead. Makes you feel better, be my guest. I'm an easy target. I like people, Neil. I even like you. People are my business. They're my business because I've made them my business. Yeah, I talk too much. I also listen too much. You can be a cold-hearted cynic. I don't care. Think what you want about me. I'm not changing. I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. I'm a human being. Flaws, fat, and farts. I'm flesh and blood.
Close up on Neil. He feels like the last slice on a loaf of bread. Close up on Dell. He's serious and genuine. Interior room. Neil closes the door and walks back to the bed. He steps out of his pants and gets in bed. Turns off the light and they both settle in.
Sorry.
So am I.
Good night.
Sleep tight. My wife used to say, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. I've actually never seen a bed bug. I've seen plenty of other things, though.
Truck lights outside.
Nah, it's just an old saying. Maybe lice.
Exterior motel. A huge semi-tractor pulls up outside the motel room. Interior motel. The room is flooded with light. Interior hallway. The pizza boy's still hanging around. He puts his ear to the door and listens. He reaches into his back pocket and withdraws a room key. Exterior motel morning. It's even uglier in the daylight. It's the middle of nothing. Interior bedroom close up on Dell and Neil morning. Sleeping, tight as spoons. Dell has his arm around Neil's chest. Neil's holding Dell's hand. Dell's face is in the crook of Neil's neck, nestled tight and warm. They're both sleeping, sweet and satisfied. Dell snuggles and nibbles Neil's earlobe with his dry lips. Neil smiles in his sleep. A beat, and the smile relaxes. Somewhere in his unconscious mind, he senses something's not right. Another beat, and Neil opens his eyes. He thinks for a moment. He slowly brings Dell's hand up to his face and looks at it. Dell's eyes open. He looks around, orients himself. He knows something's terribly wrong.
Neil,
Dell,
are you holding my hand?
why did you kiss my ear?
I don't know.
Where's your other hand?
I'm not sure.
Well, find it, Dell.
Dell thinks another beat. His hand emerges from Neil's pillow.
On the count of three. 1,
2,
3.
3.
Interior room morning. Dell and Neil burst out of bed, screaming and shivering with revulsion. Interior bathroom later. Neil standing at the mirror, studying his sleepy, stubbled face. The water's running in the sink. He bends down and splashes cold water on his face. Several good splashes. A big last splash, and he holds his hands to his face and freezes. A long beat, and he slowly removes his hands and looks down. His point of view, Dell's socks soaking in the sink. Close up on Neil, abject horror. Interior bedroom, Dell's sitting on the edge of the bed, clipping his toenails, watching cartoons on TV. In the bathroom, Neil reaches for a towel. Close up on sink, Dell's underpants are balled up on the edge of the sink, and Neil's hand feels around for the shorts. He finds them and picks them up. Close up on Neil drying his face with the underpants. It occurs to him the fabric isn't common to bath towels. He stops drying, freezes again, draws the underpants away from his face and looks at them with complete revulsion. Exterior Neil's house, day. Winter wonderland. Street, church, big expensive houses. The storm has come and gone. Exterior Neil's house. The cause of Neil's delay looks lovely in the trees, lawn, and house. Interior Neil's bedroom, warm and comfortable. Marty, little Neil, and Seth are staring at the empty bed. Marty lifts up the covers. Little Marty lifts up the covers.
We can't hear you, Marty.
When you, Daddy?
Damn it, little Neil.
To be fair, it says little deal.
What's the deal?
Right, he doesn't know typos
Yeah,
happen to other
I-
people.
But you're the king of
he's
typos.
he's not there.
Nope.
Interior kitchen. Susan's in her robe making school lunches, talking on the phone.
There's my phone. You shared a motel room with a stranger? Are you crazy?
Interior motel room. Neil's dressing as he talks. He removes a suit from the laundry box. It's gray wool.
Well, what was I supposed to do? Sleep in the airport?
This whole thing is insane. I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I'm trying to get home.
Interior kitchen. Susan pours herself another cup of coffee.
It doesn't sound like you're trying to get home if you're shacking up with strangers.
Interior motel room. Neil slips on his shirt. He doesn't notice that the sleeves are 4 inches too short.
Well, I didn't feel like sleeping in a chair.
I watched the news this morning and they said O'Hare is open and flights are landing and taking off.
Neil slips on his trousers. They're also 4 inches too short. He doesn't notice.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll start trying to book a flight.
It'd be nice if you could drop in for Thanksgiving.
Neil slips on his suit coat. Also too short. He turns to the mirror, freezes. The phone falls out of his hand to the floor. Interior coffee shop day. Dell's dressed in fresh clean clothes. Neil's wearing his clothes from the previous day. Dell's finishing off a stack of pancakes.
I had no idea they'd launder and starch your suit. You were thrilled this morning when the laundry came back. Remember, you were thanking me for sending it out even though you didn't ask me to? You know, I think if you find the right place, they can stretch your suit out and it'll fit again. I personally don't invest in fabrics that can't bear up in a motel laundry.
Neil glares at him.
Oh, I ordered you a Pony Express.
Neil looks at the plate.
Just a fancy name for ground beef and gravy omelet. Since I don't know your eating habits yet, I just went ahead and ordered you something that everyone likes.
I wanted a grapefruit.
Oh, I had the last one. I'm sorry.
Dell hands Neil a bowl of oatmeal.
I didn't touch my oatmeal.
Neil looks at it. He takes it from Dell and begins cautiously eating it.
What'd the airline say?
Everything's booked solid, but they said I have a good chance of getting on standby.
Uh-huh. They told you Wolverines make good house pets. Would you believe them?
Well, what choice do I have?
Well, you want to be in Chicago by tonight?
At the outside.
Regardless of what the airline told you, and believe me, they'll tell you Abe Lincoln died in a boating accident if they think it'll prevent a ticket return. Chicago by tonight's a stretch. I think if you plan on tomorrow morning, you're still tugging your tamale.
I'm not spending Thanksgiving in Wichita. I have a family waiting for me.
Worse things have happened. Ask any wartime resident of Dresden.
I'm home tonight, come hell or high water.
Which do you prefer? I'm going with high water myself. If you think the airline gives 2 craps and a doorbell chime if you eat turkey with your family tomorrow, you're deluded.
I'll get home.
Well, not on any airplane. There's 24 hours of air traffic backed up. Any way you slice it, the odds are you and me are eating turkey right here.
An anorexic waitress cruises by, refills their coffee cups, and drops off the check.
If we wait for a flight.
How the hell else will we get home?
I got a buddy in the railroad business.
Train?
Dell grabs the check. Neil snatches it away from him.
Oh, I've paid for everything else. Why break precedent?
I'm starting to feel like a freeloader here.
You get me on the train, you're no freeloader.
Neil reaches for his wallet and opens it. It's empty. He looks angrily at Dell.
What?
You know goddamn well what.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Neil shows him the empty wallet.
I had $700 in here.
I don't have your dough, Neil. A lot of things, but I'm not a thief.
You went through my stuff last night, didn't you? Huh?
I didn't touch your money. And I don't care for the accusation.
Well, I had $700 in here. You went into it for the pizza. Maybe you...
Dell digs his hand in his back pocket and whips out his fat, worn, brown leathered wallet. He slaps it on the table.
Count it.
Oh, like you keep it in your wallet if you stole it.
There's $263 in there. There's $1 more, you can call me a thief.
That doesn't prove a damn thing.
Count it.
Neil picks up the wallet and opens it. He looks in the money section.
263?
It's empty.
Huh?
Dry.
Dell grabs the wallet from him. He looks at it, looks at Neil. Neil's looking at him. A long beat.
We were robbed.
You think so? When?
Did you lock Did you lock the door when we came back to bed?
It locked when I closed it.
Did the chain lock?
Neil thinks and shakes his head.
I don't think so.
We have a visitor. Do you have any money?
Neil reaches in his pocket, takes out a few crumpled bills and some change. Dell reaches in his pocket, comes up with $1. Neil looks at the check.
$6.50.
Dell counts out the money.
We're $1 short.
He calls the waitress over.
Hun, you charged me for oatmeal?
She looks at the check.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
sure you did.
Well, if I got it, I would have oatmeal on my breath, right? Bend over and take a whiff, then tell me I got my oatmeal. Come on.
The waitress stares at him.
I know for a fact I gave you your oatmeal because while I was carrying it over here, I pulled a hair out of it. That'd make your armpit proud.
Neil holds back a violent urge to retch.
Is that a fact?
It's black and shiny and curly as a pig's tail.
Neil squeezes his hand over his mouth.
Well, you shouldn't have said that, sweetie. I'm with the Department of Agriculture, and I believe a big black curly armpit hair in the oatmeal violates just about every health law I'm sworn to uphold.
Neil gags and chokes.
I believe your boss would rather see you tear up that check than face possible loss of his operating license. Do you have any idea the amount of vermin a human hair can host is?
Neil dashes from the booth.
If he dies, you'll be doing your smarting off to the boys at the big house.
She picks up the check and tears it in two. Exterior motel day. Dell and Neil are sitting in Dell's trunk in front of the motel. Exterior motel, Dell and Neil. They're waiting.
If you want to take another run at breakfast, we still have $6.50.
Neil stares at him.
Let me know. Hey, I was thinking, we're dealing with a small-time crook here. He didn't bother with the credit cards. We'll charge our way home. What kind of plastic do you carry?
Well, he's not too small time. He stole my American Express card and was smart enough to replace it with something that looked like an American Express card. A rather clever way to keep me from reporting the card stolen. I have a Visa card, a gasoline card, and an Neiman Marcus card in case you need to buy a gift for someone. What do you carry?
Chalmers Big and Tall Men's Store. Just have an outlet chain in the Pacific Northwest.
So we charge our way home on my credit cards.
What, do you have any checks?
My wife keeps the checkbook. You?
Strictly cash. I travel too much to write checks. 99% of them will be out of state, and out of state check is about as welcome as a priest in a whorehouse.
Never mind. You get me to the train station. I'll take care of everything else.
Got it covered. Gus's son is driving us.
Dell looks at his watch.
If Gus is your friend, why didn't you ask him for a loan?
He doesn't have a pot to piss in. I can't take money from him. I have a long-standing policy against borrowing money from my friends.
But it's okay to borrow from strangers like me, huh?
It's an incentive for you to become my friend.
Exterior motel. An old pickup truck pulls in front of the motel and it blows its horn. Neil and Dell look at the truck, then at each other.
Is that him?
Dell calls to the driver.
Are you Gus's son?
His point of view. A strange, gangly young man, Owen, looks out the truck at him. Beside him is a 2-year-old standing in the seat and his wife with baby in her arms.
I'm Owen. You the shower curtain fellas?
Exterior motel. Dell and Neil get up from the trunk.
That's me, Dell Griffith, Mrs. Neil Page.
Owen wipes his nose and offers Neil his hand. Even in before COVID times, that was gross. Neil embraces Owen.
He's a friendly fella, huh? Pleased to meet you both. This is my kid, and that's my wife, and that's my baby.
Neil and Dell nod to the wife.
You don't gotta say nothing to her. She's dumb as a melon, and she don't remember nothing. I'm to drive you to Wichita to catch the train.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
The train don't run out of Wichita unless you're a hog on a cattle. Trains run out of Newton?
Yeah, no problem.
Dell and Neil stoop to lift the trunk.
Don't bother with that.
He turns and barks at his wife.
Get your lazy behind out here and put the truck in the back.
Neil and Dell quickly intercede.
No, we got it.
She don't mind. She's short and skinny, but she's strong. Her first baby come out sideways and she didn't scream or nothing.
No, we got it.
They mask their pain as they lift the trunk and hoist it into the truck. Barely. They quickly load the other bags.
Come on up front. Get you and them kids in back so the guests ride up front out of the cold.
The wife opens the door to get out. Dell and Neil jump into the truck.
No problem. We're fine.
She don't mind. She resists the cold real good. Was that my wife?
Sometimes I sleep naked. The conversation stops dead.
Isn't that fun? Well, we'll ride in the back. No problem. Let's go.
We're riding back here.
I guess.
Do you know how much this suit cost?
Owen shrugs.
She already started the truck this morning. She got used to the cold already.
Well, that's very kind of you and her, but we could use a little fresh air.
Get down and help the guests into the back.
The wife gets down on all fours.
No.
One knee.
Neil drops to a knee. Dell steps up on Neil's knee and gets into the truck. Dell and Neil settle down on the trunk. Owen gets in the truck and throws it in gear. The truck pulls out of the highway. Exterior truck. Dell and Neil are buffeted by the frigid wind. They're huddled close together and bundled tight.
You don't mind, do you? I hate to sit inside knowing that poor gal's out here freezing her buns off.
What do you think I am? I have a heart.
I only asked because Newton's a little further than Wichita.
How much further?
30 miles.
Exterior downtown Wichita train depot. The truck pulls up at the depot. Dell and Neil are frozen. Their hair is standing on end. They slowly rise off the trunk and step down from the truck. Owen and his wife get out of the truck and walk around the back. Owen opens the gate. His teensy wife picks up the trunk and carries it to the depot. Dell and Neil grab the other bags with frozen fingers. Exterior depot train. Neil gives Dell his ticket.
They didn't have two together, so
Neil offers his hand and Dell takes it.
if I don't see you again, take care.
You too. I'll probably see you on the train.
I'm gonna sleep if I can, but anyway, it's been kind of fun.
It was a laugh. Good luck to you. And thanks. Oh, wait. Give me your address so I can pay you back for the ticket.
The ticket's a gift.
Come on, give me your address.
Dell, it's a gift.
Give me your phone number so at least I can find out if you got home okay.
I'll get home okay. But thanks for the concern. Happy holidays.
Neil pats Dell on the back and boards the train. Dell watches him board. There's a little sadness. He misses Neil already. He looks at his ticket and waddles down the siding. He boards another car. Interior train car. Neil places his briefcase in the overhead baggage compartment and sits down in the window seat. He settles into the seat, sighs with relief. Glad to be seated. Glad to be headed home. Glad to be rid of Dell. Not a mean way, just glad to be on his own, going back to his own life. He closes his eyes. Dell puts his briefcase under the seat and settles into the seat.
Miss me?
Exterior train. The train rolls across the countryside. Interior train. Dell has visited the bar car and knows a large cup of beer and several packets of nuts. He shakes the nuts in his fist and pops them in his mouth. Neil's sleeping. Dell looks at him warmly, as a mother might do to a sleeping child. He reaches under the seat and pulls out his coat, gently lays it across Neil, careful not to spill the beer he holds in one hand. He tucks the coat around Neil. Neil smiles and settles into the warm coat. Suddenly, the train bucks. Dell drops the beer, and Neil sits bolt upright. Close up on Neil's shoes. The beer cup is overturned on Neil's foot. Exterior countryside, smoke's billowing out of the engine. A perplexed crew is watching the fire. Exterior train, passenger cars. Passengers are climbing down off the train. Baggage handler is heaving baggage off the train into the snow. Close up on feet, shoes and feet, all of all description, negotiate the frozen lumps of soil and corn stubble of a plowed field. Neil's pathetic pumps trudge past. Every single step, the beer-soaked foot is given a good shake. Dell's sturdy, practical boots keep pace. Exterior field. Dell and Neil are trudging across the frozen field, bags in hand, sharing the burden of Dell's trunk. We widen to reveal a long line of passengers marching across the vast snowfield like the German army in retreat from the Russian front. Exterior Jefferson City, Missouri, the Missouri capital. Exterior bus depot, the Greyhound main terminal. Interior bus depot, Dell and Neil are sitting on benches in the seedy terminal. Dell looks at Neil. Neil's bubbling with anger. He looks at his watch. Dell looks at his.
Well, it's not my fault the train caught on fire.
Neil looks at him. He's not so sure.
Hey, thank your lucky stars it didn't derail. They derail more often than they catch fire.
It's 3:15.
The bus leaves at 4. We're all right. Have you ever thought of going with the flow?
I am going with the flow, and you're what floated into my life.
Dell resents the sharp remark.
If it weren't for me, Mr. Ungrateful, you'd still be at the Wichita airport.
Instead, I'm in the Jefferson City bus terminal. Tell me how that's an improvement.
You're a couple hundred miles closer to home.
And I'm out $700, 250 in train tickets.
They're mailing you a refund.
A lot of good that does me here,
You're in a pretty lousy mood, huh?
to say the least.
You ever traveled by bus?
Neil shakes his head no.
Your mood probably not going to improve much.
Interior bus. Jammed with cut-rate passengers, screaming babies, luggage everywhere, food wrappers, a dozen servicemen with their Walkmans leaking 12 different songs, children cruising the aisles. The engine is roaring. Someone has a window open. It's hell on wheels. Dell and Neil are sitting towards the back. Neil has a seat on his lap. The person in front of him has a seat all the way back and is sleeping. Dell's eating popcorn. Neil's staring out the filthy window. Dell pokes Neil, and Neil looks at him. Dell jerks his hand towards the seats opposite them. Neil looks. His point of view, a sleazy young couple are furiously necking in the seats. His hands are all over hers, inside her clothes, outside her clothes, squeezing, rubbing, streaking. Dell and Neil are both watching.
It's a movie, huh?
Neil stares at him.
Beggars can't be choosers, Neil. Better than walking.
Barely.
A child's hand squeezes between Dell and Neil's seats and fishes around.
Probably as good a time as any to tell you something.
Neil leans back to avoid the child's dirty, probing fingers.
What now?
Well, you'll probably be relieved, seeing as how you're not enjoying the bus travel.
What?
Our tickets are only good to St. Louis.
Neil's jaw drops.
What, St. Louis and Chai is booked tighter than Tom Thumb's ass. Don't forget, it's Thanksgiving.
Close up on Neil. He turns away and strokes his brow. Something catches his eye. His point of view, the couple across the aisle have finished their activities, lighting a cigarette. His hands move to hers and they inhale with great relief and pleasure. Exterior St. Louis bus station, crowded with holiday traffic. Close up on Dell with a big smile on his face.
Those earrings were made by hand for the Grand Wizard of China. That's a solid pastel ivory over a quart of 14 karat gold and diamond chips. And not only do they look smashing, they prevent headaches and make your perfume hold its scent longer.
He finishes his pitch with a toothy grin. Close up on a trio of women. A large, stocky, middle-aged woman, a large, stocky woman in her 30s, and a stocky teenage girl. They're all wearing plastic shower curtain rings in their ears. Interior bus station restaurant. Dell and Neil are eating. Neil is trying to find a chili dog without getting sick to his stomach. His brain says no, his mouth says yes. He closes his eyes and bites. Dell has no such trouble.
I'm in the wrong business. You know how many of those damn rings I sold? Dozens. I don't know what got into me, but that was a brilliant idea.
Neil takes a slug of beer and washes down the bite of hot dog. He takes another swing and swishes around his mouth in an attempt to cleanse his palate.
You didn't have to sell your samples.
I've steered you wrong so many times I felt like a shit burger on a stale bun. Least I could do was scrape up a nice meal for you. Did you call your wife?
No one was home. They're probably at my daughter's Thanksgiving pageant.
That's a bitch you miss it, huh? Those moments are precious.
Neil's coming to a realization, something he's known for a while but hasn't admitted to.
I've been spending too much time away from home.
Oh, I haven't been home in years.
Seriously?
Dell didn't want to say what he just did, a slip of the tongue. He quickly gets off the subject.
Figure of speech. But listen, I called in an old friend at Eastern Airlines. It says the chances of getting a flight into Chicago from here are about the same as a mouse sexually satisfying a black rhino.
I know. I called all the airlines.
Did you call your office? Maybe they have some clout. Do you have a company plane?
No, the office closed at noon.
We're still sitting on over 100 beans for my brilliant idea.
I don't feel right taking your money.
I didn't exactly come by it honestly, There's another option open to us. I have friends here in town. I bet if we call, they put us up.
Neil shakes his head no. What Neil has to say is hard.
I've been thinking, Dell, when we put our heads together, we really get nowhere. I think I'm holding you up.
I'm enjoying your company. Hey, you're not that bad. You don't react to crisis very well, but I can overlook that. You have plenty of other admirable traits.
I think we'd probably both get home a lot sooner if we split up.
Dell's face drops. He's hurt. He's enjoyed this adventure.
I don't see it like that.
I really think we'll both get where we're going a lot faster on our own.
Dell looks down at his plate.
Okay.
There's a long pause.
In other words, I'm a pain in the ass.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I am. Everything I touch turns to shit. My mother used to tell me I had twice as much heart as brains.
He looks up at Neil.
I was only trying to help.
I know, Dell, and I appreciate it.
If I can count you as my friend, I'm happy.
Dell drops his napkin on his plate. He looks at the check, lays down the appropriate sum plus tip, counts out half the remaining money and puts it in his pocket. He gets up and stuffs the other half in Neil's suit coat. He pats him on the shoulder.
I can't take your money.
Take it. Buy your kids a chocolate turkey.
You take it. Buy your kids something.
I already did. Have a happy holiday.
He shuffles out of the restaurant and Neil watches him go with a sad but final smile. Exterior St. Louis Airport day, jammed with activity. Interior airport rental car counter. It's jammed with people, huge lines, deafening din. Neil's at the counter filling out the forms. Exterior airport arrival area. Neil's at the curb with a group of people waiting for the courtesy bus. For the first time since the GM building, he's smiling. He's so light in spirit, he strikes up a conversation with a young businessman standing next to him.
You have no idea what I've been through to get here.
You have no idea what I've been through.
Well, it can't come close to what I've been through.
I had my foot amputated on Thursday.
Neil is shocked. There's a long, uncomfortable pause.
Other than that, are you looking forward to a nice holiday?
Oh, very much so. Looking on the bright side of things, my feet are only half as cold as yours.
He chuckles and Neil manages a grin, a smile. Exterior highway day. A car rental courtesy van leaves the airport heading for the remote car pickup. Interior courtesy bus. 2 sofas and tables and lamps. It's packed with weary travelers, Neil included. He's squeezed in between 2 nuns. The van jerks to a stop. A burly black driver calls out Neil's name.
Mr. Page?
Neil gets up and squishes his way up to the front. The driver hands Neil his rental agreement envelope and a set of keys.
Red Mustang, space E67.
Thanks. Have a nice holiday.
Are you kidding? You have a nice holiday while you're stuffing your gullet with turkey. I'll be riding around with this goddamn living room on wheels.
Well, have a nice day.
The day's shot. This is my last run. I drop you off and go home to 4 walls and a 14-year-old Doberman Pinchester with a bladder infection.
A Doberman with a blader? Okay. He sits
Bladder.
down and opens the door. Neil steps down off the van. Exterior parking lot. The van pulls away. Neil looks at the envelope, then at the parking lot. His point of view, a vast expanse of parked rental cars. Neil starts down the row of cars, looking at the large white stall numbers painted on the pavement. His point of view, moving past the backs of parked cars. Neil stops, looks down, looks at the rental agreement. His point of view, in large letters on the envelope, E67. Neil looks down at the parking slot. His point of view, in big white letters, E67. No red Mustang. No car at all. Exterior parking lot. Neil stands in the empty space looking at the keys and the rental agreement.
Son of a bitch.
He looks across the parking lot. The van is several aisles over. One of the passengers gets out and the van turns and heads down another aisle. Neil takes off after the van, cutting between cars, slipping and sliding through the snow.
Hey!
Exterior van, the last passenger gets off. The doors close and the van pulls out. A beat, and Neil charges after it. Exterior parking lot wide. The van heads for the parking lot exit with Neil in pursuit. Exterior parking lot entrance. The van pulls out onto the highway. In the parking lot, Neil charges up to the chain link fence surrounding the lot. His point of view, the van speeds past on its way back to the airport. Neil drops his briefcase and screams. Interior airport electric doors, night. The door opens and Neil shuffles in. We start in on his expensive Italian shoes and move up. The shoes are soaked with water, stained with road salt, frayed and torn. A tassel is loose and dragging. We shove up his pant legs. The cuff of one leg is ripped and trailing behind. The fabric is soaked with water and stained with salt and mud. His beautiful trousers are flecked with mud and salt. His overcoat is splattered with water and dirt. He stops as we land on his face. It's frozen and speckled with the same salt and grit. His eyes are wild with rage. His teeth are clenched. His hair is standing on end, glistening with frost. He's wrapped his necktie around his head to keep his ears warm. He looks left, then right. His upper lip pulls back and he snarls. Interior airport rental car counter, night. A perky young girl is happily tapping on the keys of her computer. She looks up with a big, friendly TV commercial smile. A beat, and the smile dissolves. Her point of view, Neil stands before her, crazed, frozen, and mad as hell. Close up on the girl as she manages to put on another giant smile.
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, the page just went away. May I help you?
Close up on Neil as he leans forward and talks very softly.
Yes.
Close up on the girl as she leans forward to hear better.
How may I help you?
Interior car rental counter. He leans a little closer. She leans a little closer.
You can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks.
Close up on the girl. She's stunned. Neil continues his tirade.
Then you can drop the Miss fucking cheerful bullcrap and give me a fucking automobile, a fucking Mustang, a fucking Toyota, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Chevy, 4 fucking wheels and a seat.
The girl regains her composure, clears her throat, fidgets with her uniform scarf.
I don't really care for the way you're talking to me.
I don't really care for the way your fucking company left me out in the middle of fucking nowhere with fucking keys to a fucking car that isn't fucking there. And I didn't really care to fucking walk down a fucking highway and across a fucking runway to get back here to have you smile in my fucking face. I'm a pretty fucking nice guy under normal circumstances, and I have nothing against you except your fucking happy demeanor too violently illustrates to me how miserable I am. I want a fucking car right fucking now.
Do you have your rental agreement?
No.
Oh boy,
Oh boy, what?
you're fucked.
And if we weren't at our R rating, we are now. Exterior airport arrival area day. Neil trudges out of the airport. His eyes are glazed. He's beyond anger. He walks zombie-like to a cab stand. A burly cab dispatcher addresses him.
Where you going?
Chicago.
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 You know we're in St. Louis?
Yes, I know I'm in St. Louis and I want to be in Chicago.
You want to take a cab to Chicago?
Yes, I do.
Well, why don't you try the airlines? It's a lot faster and you get a free meal.
If I wanted a joke, I'd follow you into the John and watch you take a leak.
The dispatcher glares at him.
Hey, listen, butthead, if I got to look at your nutty mug for more than 2 seconds, you're going to be looking at me upside down and blurry.
All I asked for was a cab. It is possible for a taxi to transport me to Chicago. I'd much prefer to fly or drive myself, but due to holiday traffic, those options are not available to me. Can you help me? Or are you going to stand there like a slab of meat with mittens?
Close up on the dispatcher. He doesn't much care for Neil's attitude.
Time's up.
Close up on Neil. He doesn't understand.
Excuse me?
Close up on the dispatcher. He stuffs his cigar in his mouth.
You're excused.
He draws back his fist and lets it fly directly into the camera. Close up on Neil as he drops backwards out of frame. The exterior street. Neil falls to the street, lands on his ass in front of the car. The contents of his briefcase go flying. He screams and covers his head. The car skids to a stop inches from Neil's body. Horns blow, tires screech. Neil's hands are over his face as he slowly removes them. His point of view. Del Griffith is standing over him, looking down. He's startled.
Neil?
Close up on Neil. He's equally startled.
Dell?
Exterior airport cab stand. Dell's relieved to find that Neil's all right.
Man, if I'd had my sunglasses on, I would have run you right over.
The dispatcher barks at Dell.
Hey, get your car out of here.
Hey, hold your water, wise ass. We've got an injured man in the street here, right under your damn nose. Get off your fat duff and help him up. I'll move my car.
Close up on Neil as he shakes his head in an emphatic no. Interior car later. Dell's driving. Neil's next to him. He's cleaning off his face with a handkerchief.
I had a feeling when we parted ways that somehow, someday our paths would cross again.
Neil stares at him and he's not happy.
Are you all right? Never saw a guy get picked up by the testicles before.
Neil holds an angry stare.
That son of a bitch was mad. I swear if that cop hadn't strolled past, you'd be lifting up your balls to tie your shoes.
Neil continues to stare.
Do you have any idea how glad I am that I didn't kill you?
Do you have any idea how glad I'd be if you had?
Hey, you don't mean that. You remember what I said about going with the flow a little more?
How do I go with the flow when the rental car agency leaves me in a 100-acre parking lot with keys to a car that isn't there and I have to walk 3 miles to find out they don't have any more cars?
I got a car. I didn't have to waste one drop of sweat.
Well, Dell, you're a charmed man.
Nope.
That's right. You just go with the flow.
Like a twig on the shoulders of a mighty stream.
He puts his arm on the seat and slams the hammer down. Exterior highway nights. A massive green Lincoln speeds past. Dell's steamer trunk is hanging out the back of the car trunk, which is secured with a length of twine. Interior Neil's house dining room. Both sets of grandparents, the kids, and Susan are having dinner. Susan is sullen and withdrawn, paying only cursory interest in the conversation.
I thought Martin did a wonderful job with her poem today. It's a shame your dad missed it.
I'm sure he feels the same way. We'll see the videotape.
That's no way to watch a kid grow up.
Joy fires Walt a cold look to shut him up.
Travis,
Yes.
who's
Travis, you're
Kay?
big.
Oh, I was so proud of you, Martin. Grandpa, she missed about 8 words.
I did not. That's enough.
She brutalized a famous poem.
The phone rings off screen. Susan slips away from the table. Interior kitchen. Susan walks to the kitchen and answers the phone.
Hello?
Interior roadhouse payphone. Neil's on the payphone in a loud, raucous roadhouse. Behind him, we see a stage with a girl dancing behind a shower curtain. The shower curtain packed with house cheers are on. Neil has his hand pressed against her ear.
Susan,
Interior Neil's house kitchen. Susan hears the noise in the background.
Where are you?
Interior roadhouse. Neil strains to hear as Dell works his way through the crowd to the phone.
huh? I'm at a payphone. Some roadside dump. I'm in Southern Illinois.
Dell reaches Neil and taps his shoulder. Neil looks around at him.
Hold on.
He covers the phone.
Do you have $5?
I'm on with my wife.
I need a 5.
Neil reaches into his pocket and pulls out the last of the money.
We only have $23 left.
We're fine. Give me 5.
Neil fishes out a 5.
Everything okay at home?
You got to be kidding.
Dell turns.
As soon as I'm off the phone, we're out of here.
Dell looks back and gives him the okay. Interior kitchen. Neil comes back on the line.
I'm sitting here with my parents, with your parents, your kids, and I want to know what's going on.
Interior roadhouse. Neil squeezes into the corner to shield the phone from the noise.
What's going on? I'm trying to get home. I've had the worst day of my life. I've been on a train that caught fire, a bus, the back of a pickup truck. I walked 4 miles through the snow with 400 people.
All I know is John got home last night.
Neil's mouth drops open.
He left after I did. How could he get home?
You tell me. The airport's been open since this morning.
Interior kitchen.
You want to hear a dog story?
Not making any noises. Or I'm sorry, he's not making any sense.
He takes the phone.
Dad, are you there? Oh, Dad, you fucking idiot. Pick up the phone.
Hey, that's no way to talk to your superior. My
Damn it,
fucking
Travis.
son.
No.
Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm having a hell of a time getting home, but other than that, I'm doing all right. When did you guys get in?
This morning?
Did you hit any snow?
A little bit. Storm was pretty much just Chicago and north. Other than that, it was pretty smooth sailing.
Glad to hear it.
Interior kitchen. Martin covers the phone.
He's making perfect sense. What are you talking about?
Well, if Travis understands him, we're screwed. Susan takes the phone. Interior roadhouse. Neil continues talking.
Dad, you have to help me out a little. I don't think Susan believes a word I'm saying.
Susan's jaw clenches.
Got that one right.
Interior roadhouse. Neil's eyes open wide with alarm. Dell looks over at the phone booth. His point of view. Neil lowers the phone and bangs his head against the wall. In the kitchen, Susan has dispatched the last of her patients.
I have a pretty good idea of what you're pulling, Neil. And all I can say is your timing stinks.
I'm pulling something. I'm trying to get home however I can.
So's Dell.
Interior roadhouse. Neil doesn't understand what she's getting at.
How's Dell?
How's Dell?
Why do you want to know about Dell? He's fine. A pain in the ass, but why do you want to know about him?
In the kitchen, Susan flashes a look to the dining room and then lets Neil have it.
You just better make sure you don't come home with his panties in your briefcase.
Interior roadhouse. Neil vastly misinterprets the remark.
Well, funny you should mention that. I dried off my face at him this morning.
In the kitchen, Susan slams the phone down. Neil listens to the dial tone.
Hello? Susan. Shit.
Exterior booth. Neil rests his head on the cold glass and hangs up the phone. Exterior highway. The rental car roars into the night. In the car later, Neil is driving. Dell's trying to get comfortable. He's running through the electric seat positions. It's annoying the hell out of Neil.
Could you please not do that with the seat?
Neil takes his wallet out of his pocket and puts it in the glove box.
When you start screwing around with these damn things, can't ever get comfortable.
Then quit screwing around with it.
I gotta get comfortable. Do you have a bad back? Well, I do, and it hurts like a bugger. Give me a couple good positions for it.
He raises the seat bottom and lowers the seat back. The motors grind and squeal.
Are you trying to break it?
No, I'm not trying to break it.
A few more tries and he gets the seat the way he wants it.
There.
He sits for a moment. It's not right.
Shit. I got the seat just right. Now I can't reach my feet to take my shoes off.
That's just fine. Leave your shoes on.
I can't relax with my shoes on.
I don't care to breathe your foot odor. Leave the shoes on.
When did you smell my feet?
At the airport, on the plane, on the train, on the bus, in the motel. And I don't care to smell them in the car.
I suppose nothing on you smells.
Not like that.
Gee, it must be swell feel. It must be a swell feeling to be perfect and odor free.
I never said I was perfect.
You don't come right out and say it. There's plenty of things about you that bother me. I, however, am understanding enough to let them pass.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
Now, what do I do that bothers you?
Lots of things.
Name one.
You play with your balls.
And now Neil looks at him, a long stare, back to the road and back to Dell.
I don't play with my balls.
Larry Bird on a good night doesn't do as much ball handling as you do in an hour.
Are you trying to start a fight?
Not at all. I'm just stating a fact. You fiddle with your nuts a lot.
I've been wearing the same shorts for 2 days. They're stretched out. They're uncomfortable.
Okay.
Dell settles into the seat and gets comfortable.
You know what would make me happy?
A couple more balls and an extra set of fingers.
Now that's humor. What would make me happy is if you give your mouth a rest.
My pleasure.
I'd like to have a little silence while I drive.
No problem.
Thank you.
Dell closes his eyes. A long beat.
The trunk lid is ajar. Please secure it before proceeding.
How do you shut that thing up?
Guess we secure the trunk lid.
It won't close with your goddamn trunk stuffed in it.
Well, I guess we'll just have to live with it.
You absolutely need that trunk.
Do you think I'd lug it everywhere with me if I didn't need it?
I don't know why anybody travels with something like that. What's in it?
There's a pause.
What's in it?
None of your business.
The trunk lid is ajar. Please secure it before.
Dell smacks the dashboard. The radio goes on, loud and off the station. Neil reaches out to turn it off. He can't find the knob. He looks at the radio. His point of view, there are no dials on the radio, just a computer pad. In the car, Dell studies the radio. A long beat. He smacks the dash. The radio goes off. Dell looks at Neil with a smile. Dell settles into his seat and closes his eyes.
The trunk lid is ajar. Please secure it before proceeding.
Exterior highway night. She's getting a little pissed, y'all. The car powers past. Interior car later. Neil's driving. Dell's sound asleep, snoring like a buzzsaw. Neil's fiddling with the computer on the radio. He manages to switch it on. He fiddles a little more and finds how to raise the volume. He turns up the music to mask the snoring. The snoring gets louder. Neil turns the music up louder. The snoring gets louder. Neil turns the music up full blast. He looks at Dell, sleeping like a baby.
Dell,
No response. He reaches for the electric window buttons. He opens Dell's window. Wind whips in. Dell doesn't stir. Neil puts down the other windows. No response from Dell.
Dell, Dell Griffith. Hey, wake up, stupid. Up and at him, liver lips.
Neil reaches over and pokes Dell. He stirs, turns away, and closes his mouth. He stops snoring. Neil puts the window back up, turns off the radio. Nothing out of Dell. He reaches over his lap and adjusts his crotch.
Just can't leave the walnuts alone, can you?
Neil freezes. Interior cafe. Dell and Neil are finishing their coffee.
You know, if you want, I'll drive for a while.
That's generous of you, considering I've done most of the driving.
An hour behind the wheel with my back is like a lifetime for you.
Neil grows weary of the bickering. He changes the subject to what's really bothering him.
I can't believe it's Thanksgiving Eve and I'm not home with my family.
Me either.
What do you have, boys or girls?
2 boys and a girl
I saw your wife. You got pictures of the kids?
in my trunk.
It's hard being away, isn't it?
Absolute misery.
I haven't seen you call your wife. Isn't she going to worry?
Just because you didn't see me doesn't mean I didn't call her.
Well, what's she have to say about all this?
Complete understanding.
You're a lucky man. My wife's ready to kill me.
That's a shame. It's a real true shame.
I don't know what I can do. How do you manage to keep your wife so understanding?
It's real simple. I love her from sun up to sundown and make damn sure I don't leave her sight until I'm convinced she knows it. Marriage can be a pretty flexible institution if the 2 parties involved know without a doubt that the love they give will never be less than the love they receive. It sounds like a load of cornball crap, but it works like magic.
Sounds like you have something pretty special.
We all have it at the start. Some people just lay it down while they're reaching for other things, and when they miss it, go back for it. Sometimes they just don't remember where they left it.
Neil is silent as he considers Dell's speech. Dell finishes his coffee.
Let's roll.
They get up from the table and cross to the cash register. The door opens and a trucker walks in.
Anybody heading north, think twice. Another big front's moving on down. They'll be playing ice hockey on the interstate.
He crosses to the counter and Dell looks at Neil, then at the cashier.
What's the motel situation?
Pretty good. Ethel's motor mattress always has an open bed or 2.
Oh, forget it. We'll take it easy. It'll be fine. Pay the lady.
Do you take credit cards?
Diners Club, Visa, MasterCharge.
Dell pats Neil on the back.
Let's conserve the cash.
Exterior restaurant later. Dell and Neil come out of the restaurant. Dell gets in the driver's side and Neil gets in the passenger side. Dell fires up the engine and whips the Versailles out of the parking space and squeals away. Interior car. Dell's driving. Neil's almost flat on his back. He's got his suit coat off, trying to get the seat up. It rocks, catches, slips, twists to one side, twists to the other.
I really think we're pressing our luck driving into the teeth of the storm.
You broke the seat. You broke the goddamn seat. I knew it.
The motor whines as Neil holds his finger on the button.
It was fine when I got out.
You messed around with it until you broke it.
You want to drive?
No, I don't. Why did you have to do this?
The gears suddenly catch and vault Neil forward and lock him with his head to his knees.
I can't be held responsible for faulty engineering.
Oh, this is great. Very comfortable.
He presses the button again. The gears grind and the seat falls back flat. Neil crosses his arms over his chest.
You like country music?
I detest country music.
I listen to your rock and roll oldies rubbish.
I'm not going to argue with you. Put on whatever you like. Just keep it soft. I'd like to get a little sleep.
Dell flips on the radio and starts scanning the dial. 2-second bursts of music and talk, up and down the FM band. He hits the AM band and travels it up and down.
Find the goddamn station.
I'm sorry, I don't have the worldwide radio network committed to memory.
He flips back to FM.
Oh, come on.
Dell turns off the radio.
What?
Forget it. Such a miserable asshole. I don't want to aggravate you any more than you already are.
I'm not miserable. Turn on the radio and find your station.
Forget it. I'm not in the mood for music anymore.
Fine.
I was, but you ruined it. Guess I better consult with you from now on if you want me to behave. About how you want me to behave so that you'll be more comfortable. After all, I only rented the car. You're the almighty passenger.
Put on the radio.
Forget it.
Put it on.
I'd rather not.
Don't play games, Dell. Put on the radio.
Dell doesn't react. Neil leans forward, does a sit up, and flips on the radio. Scans down the dial until he hears a plaintive howl of steel guitar. He leans back.
Thanks, Neil.
My pleasure.
Aww. He reaches into the back seat and grabs his overcoat. He uses it as a blanket. He settles into his seat and closes his eyes. Dell pushes the cigarette lighter in and pushes it to his pocket and pulls out the cigarette. The lighter pops and the lights smoke.
Does my smoke bother you?
And if you crack your window a little.
Dell presses the window button, opens the window a crack, and it howls.
Is that too noisy?
Close it more or open it more.
If I close it more, it'll be closed completely.
He opens the window further and cold wind rushes in.
I'll pump the heat, okay?
Fine.
Dell blasts the heater fan, double the noise. He turns up the music above the rush of wind and the roar of the fan.
Get a little shut-eye so you'll be fresh for your shift.
I'll try.
Dell shifts in his seat, puffs a cigarette. Exterior highway. The car hurtles down the lonely interstate into the dark and approaching storm. In the car, Neil's fallen asleep. Dell takes the last puff on the cigarette and carefully slips out the window. It flies away. Interior car back seat. The butt is sucked back in the window and lands in the behind the back seat. The window snaps shut. Inside the car, Dell bobs his head to the music. He's heavily bored. He taps the steering wheel to the beats, flicks his brights on and off to the beats. Exterior car from the front, the lights going to the beats. In the car, it's getting a little warm in here. He turns off the fan. He drives a bit further. It's still too warm. He looks at Neil, who's asleep. He doesn't want to open the window for fear of waking him with the noise, so he raises his knees to the steering wheel and attempts to remove his coat. The car from the front swerves a little to the left, then back to the right. Inside the car, Dell has his arms around behind his back, trying to get his arms out of the sleeves. This sounds like how Travis drives, with no hands on the wheel. As he presses back in the seat, his foot buries the accelerator. Close up on the pedals, the accelerator's on the floor. Exterior highway, the car screams past. Back inside, Dell steering with his knees, streaking down the highway. He's struggling with his arms, suddenly realizes that he has a huge problem. He twists to the side. Close up on Dell's hands. He's trying to take off his coat and managed to slip his hands into the epaulets on the cuffs of his overcoat and is effectively handcuffed himself. Inside the car, Dell struggles to free his hands, driving with his knees. Neil's asleep, oblivious to everything. He looks at Neil to make sure he's not witnessing the latest screw up. Exterior highway, the car is roaring along. It glides across 2 lanes and shoots up an exit ramp. In the car, Dell rips his hands free, grabs the wheel, and hits the brakes. He slams his eyes shut and screams. The braking force throws Neil in the seat back forward, locking him forward with his head between his knees. The windshield cleaners go on, their windshield fog up, making it hard to see out. Exterior highway, the car does a 180 degrees and grinds to a halt in a cloud of tire smoke. Comes to rest on the overpass road, pointing towards the ramp it just came up. The engine shudders and dies. Inside the car, Neil's bent over with the locked seat holding him doubled over. Dell is as white as a baby's bottom. Speechless, pumped full of adrenaline, Neil looks at him.
What the hell are you doing?
Dell looks at him with eyes wide and wild, executes a quick recovery.
You almost had venison in your lap. Biggest deer I ever saw. He's a 10-point buck standing in the middle of the highway looking at us like it was a doe in heat.
Neil stares at him.
If I'd hit it, it would be human hash. Go back to sleep. We're making good time.
I'm stuck.
Try the button.
Neil tries it, but it just whines.
Keep your finger on it.
The motor continues to whine. Something catches. The tack moves to the normal position, but the seat moves forward, almost to the dash. It stops.
Well, you've got a choice. Leave well enough alone or risk a worse position.
Neil does nothing.
Good choice.
He starts the engine, guns it. Huge backfire.
Wasn't me.
He drops it in gear.
Go back to sleep. Everything's under control.
Exterior road. The car lurches ahead and heads down the ramp it came up, heading back to the highway in the wrong direction. In the car, Dell's wide awake, alert as a bunny. Neil closes his eyes. In the back seat, the area behind the back seat is smoldering. Close up on the back window, the plastic convertible top window is melting. A hole is forming. The smoke is being drawn out of it. Close up on Neil, he sniffs, opens his eyes, and looks at Dell.
You took your shoes off.
Close up on Dell as he looks at Neil.
Did not.
In the car, Neil sits up.
Then what smells?
I just hammered the brakes something fierce. Probably tire rubber.
It really smells bad.
Hey, since the car already stinks,
Keep your shoes on.
just checking.
Neil settles back in. Dell puts his arm up on the seat and starts to whistle. In the car, cross angle, across Dell to Neil and out the passenger window, we see a car riding alongside theirs. It's across the medium strip. Dell glances across, sees the car and smiles, puts a little more juice into it. The car running alongside him blows its horn. Dell chuckles. He blows his horn and puts his hammer down a little more. Neil sits up and looks at Dell.
What's going on?
Some joker wants to race.
He motions his head to the other car. The horn is blaring. Dell lays on his horn and slams the accelerator to the floor. Neil looks out the window. His point of view, a sedan is keeping pace across the grass strip dividing the highway. The driver has his window down and is waving his arm furiously. In the car, he's looking out the passenger window.
Is he waving at you? You know him?
Close up on Neil as he's watching the car. His point of view, the car is running alongside as the driver screams. Close up on Neil as he cups his hand to his ear.
He wants something.
Close up on Dell as he shoots a look out the window.
Maybe he's drunk.
Close up on Neil, he puts the window down. The driver is screaming and Neil screams back.
What?
The driver keeps screaming and he can't quite make out what the guy is screaming.
Wrong what?
The driver continues hollering as Neil sticks his head out the window.
What?
The driver shrieks. Inside the car, Neil pulls his head back in and looks at Dell.
He says we're going the wrong way.
He's drunk. How would he know where we're going?
Neil shrugs.
Yeah, how would
Along-
he know?
A long beat as things suddenly come to focus. Neil snaps his head around and looks out the window. His point of view, the screaming driver. The point of view shifts down to the median strip, the grassy ditch flying past. Close up on Neil as it hits him. His eyes bug out and he snaps his head forward. Exterior highway further ahead, a pair of tin-wheelers racing up a hill, side by side. In the car, Neil screams and Dell looks at him.
But do you know him?
Neil points ahead and Dell looks back to the road. Their point of view, 4 huge, bright sets of headlights breaking the crest of the hill. Close up on Dell as he slams his eyes shut. Well, that's what you should do when you're driving. Close up on Neil, eyes frozen their widest. Close up on Dell's foot. on the brake pedal to the floor. Exterior highway, the truck swerves apart to avoid the car. Exterior car left side from the rear. The truck shears off the outside mirror and the fake wood trim on the side of the car. Exterior car right side from the rear. The other truck shears off the other mirror and the trim. Inside the car, Dell and Neil are shrieking at the top of their lungs. Exterior highway, trucks from behind. The trucks come back together and continue down the highway. Exterior car from the front. The car jerks to a violent stop. Exterior car from the rear. The force of the sudden stop sends the trunk hurtling forward. It rips the trunk lid off and sails over the top of the car. Interior backseat past Dell and Neil. Out the windshield, we see the trunk crash down on the head of the car, then sail down the highway to the top of the trunk lid, sparks shooting out from behind. The trunk and the trunk lid glide down the hill and the runway toboggan. Inside the car, the steering wheel is bent over. Dell's hands are gripping it. Neil's fingers are embedded in the padded dash.
I think it's time for you to drive, Neil.
Neil looks at him.
I'm getting a little tired. And my back really hurts.
Neil looks at his watch.
If it wasn't Thanksgiving, I'd kill you.
You don't mean that, do you?
Yes, I do.
Trunk lid is ajar. Please secure it before proceeding.
Neil draws back and punches the dashboard. The computer voice continues, but it pitched higher and severely gripped.
Secure proceeding. The trunk to proceeding before a trunk.
She's just doing her job, man. Exterior highway. The car pulls slowly around the side of the road and comes to a stop, pointing in the correct direction. The doors open and Neil and Dell get out. They walk around behind the car and look at the hole where there once was a trunk lid. The computer voice continues inside, repeating the word please.
We can make a jacuzzi out of it.
Neil looks at him. He isn't interested in jokes.
I'll get my trunk.
He heads down the road. He bends down and picks up his suitcase, which has been thrown clear of the car. He sets it upright on the side of the road and grabs its back. Groans.
Oh, Jesus, my back.
Something about the smell of his back and continues.
I'm okay. Oh, Lord.
He picks up his briefcase and sets it to the side. He continues down the road. Close up on Neil, he sighs. He can't let Dell drag the trunk back by himself. Exterior highway, Neil follows after. As he heads down the highway, we see flames erupt in the back seat of the car. Dell hobbles towards the trunk and Neil's behind him. In the background, we see the interior of the car engulfed in flames. Dell stops at the trunk, grabs one end and drags it to the shoulder. Neil picks up the trunk lid and carries it to the shoulder and drops it on top of the trunk. He grabs one end, Dell grabs the other. They lift and turn to face the car. They drop the trunk. Their point of view, the car's ragtop is on fire. Close up on Dell, he can't figure out why the car is burning. Close up on Neil, complete mystification. Neil and Dell, they watch the car burn.
Why is the car on fire?
Dell shakes his head.
I don't know.
My suitcase is in the back seat
So's your briefcase
and my wallet.
Dell looks at Neil.
and your suit coat. It's a beautiful garment.
I'll bet my left nut you did that with one of your cigarettes.
I don't think so. I only had one and I made sure I tossed it out.
What I smelled before was the car, burning plastic. I'll bet you threw the cigarette out and it came back in.
I doubt it. I'm pretty careful, but I have been wrong before. At any rate, I'm sorry.
Neil lets out a chuckle.
What?
Neil continues laughing.
What?
Good luck turning the car in. They'll be happy as pigs and shit to see you.
He breaks up. Dell breaks up. Something occurs to Neil as Dell keeps laughing.
Wait, how could you rent a car without a credit card?
Oh.
You couldn't. How did you get the car?
Dell stops laughing.
I gave the girl with the cute cheeks a set of shower curtain rings.
You don't rent a car with shower curtain rings, Dell.
Dell knows he's caught.
What do you want me to say?
I'm giving you a chance to explain.
Somehow your American Express card ended up in my wallet.
You stole my card?
Not exactly. I swear on my life, I don't know how it got in there. I thought maybe you put it in my wallet.
Why would I do that?
Kindness?
Kindness? You stole it.
I was going to send it back to you with whatever the car rental charge was plus interest, so you wouldn't give me your address. I'm sorry, I was stuck. You ditched me. I had no money, no cards.
Give it back.
I can't.
Why not?
When we stopped for gas, I put it back in your wallet.
Exterior highway. The interior and the roof of the car is burning bright. Exterior motel. A chain motel. Big bright sign. The charred car pulls up to the front. All that remains of the roof is twisted black frame. Neil's driving. He's wearing one of Dell's sport coats and a stocking cap. Dell's wearing an overcoat and couple sweaters, earmuffs, and black fake Angora hats. Inside the car, the interior is completely charred. They're sitting bare on bare burned springs.
He's still mad at me.
Neil doesn't say a word.
You know, you could have killed me slugging me in the stomach when I wasn't ready.
Neil opens the door and gets out.
Well, it's fresh air. We're going to sleep like babies.
Interior motel. Neil walks into the motel and looks like an Alaskan bag person. Dell follows him, and Neil marches to the counter and knocks on the surface window. A sleepy clerk stumbles onto the office.
I need one room.
Well, if you're still pissed, maybe we should get separate rooms.
You get your room.
The desk clerk slides a registration form across the counter. Neil takes the pen and begins filling it out.
I need a major credit card.
Neil reaches into his pocket and hands the clerk a charred, melted hunk of plastic.
You take American Express?
He reaches into his other pocket and drops 2 more melted wads on the counter.
Master charge? Visa?
The clerk stares at the plastic. Neil finishes the form.
These aren't credit cards.
They were. We had a small fire in the car and they melted. I'm sorry. I'll pay cash.
We need a major credit card.
I don't have one. I'm tired. I'm cold. I'm humiliated. My marriage is collapsing. I'm 200 miles from home on Thanksgiving Eve. My car burned up. I've been insulted, abused, assaulted, and robbed. Please have mercy. I've been wearing the same undershorts for 3 days.
I can vouch for that.
Neil silences him with an angry sound.
Please.
The clerk considers the request.
Well,
Be a sport. It doesn't cost anything.
$42.50.
Neil reaches into his pocket and counts his money.
How about $17?
I can't do that.
How about $17 and a promise that I'll send you a check?
I don't own the place.
How about $17 and a hell of a nice watch?
He takes his watch off and the clerk looks at it.
Can't use the phone or the satellite TV either.
How about a couple feet of toilet tissue?
The clerk thinks on that for a moment, a beat, and he nods.
Key?
The clerk turns from the desk and selects a room key. He gives it to Neil.
Thanks. Enjoy the watch. It costs $1,500.
He turns to exit and Dell's standing at the door.
Neil, do you remember where you got that money?
Yep.
I gave it to you in St. Joe.
And I thanked you for it.
All the time we spent together, all the things we've been through.
Step aside.
It doesn't mean anything.
No.
Neil exits the lobby. Dell watches him go. He's crestfallen. The clerk turns to him.
You need a room?
Yes, I do.
Your credit cards all burned up?
Oh, I don't carry credit cards.
$42 and no room service, no phone calls, and no satellite TV.
I don't have $42.
You got $17 and a good watch?
I got $2 and a Casio.
Good night.
The clerk steps away from the counter.
I'll throw in my hat. It's a beaut, warm as all get out.
The clerk turns out the lights. Interior motel room. Neil's sitting on the edge of the bed. He lifts the receiver off the phone, puts it to his ear and tries to dial. The rotary dial is locked.
Damn.
He slams the phone down, sits for a moment. He gets up and walks to the window. He pulls the curtain aside and looks out. His point of view, Dell's sitting on the burned out car. Snowflake drifts down across the parking lot. Close up on Neil as he shakes his head.
What did I do to get hooked up with that oaf?
His point of view is Dell hunkers down in the seat and tries to get comfortable.
It has nothing to do with his being stranded.
Sorry. He's not stranded, Mother. Quit being so optimistic. He's fallen in love. He's trapped between me and the kids and someone else. He just call today because he's scared to tell me the truth.
That's absurd.
Is it?
Of course it is.
Does anything he said on the phone in the past 2 years make sense?
Peg doesn't answer.
The airport's open, the highways are clear, everything's back to normal, and where's Neil stuck on the road with the salesman? I can't imagine. Can you imagine Neil spending 3 seconds with this character he's described? It's ridiculous. He's gonna have to admit someone, for God's sake. He didn't have to go as far. The reality is this.
Maybe he's embellished it a bit, but
Oh, babe. Marty comes up with plausible characters in her nightmares. If Neil wanted to be home, he'd be home. He has money, he has credit cards. There's no good reason he's not here except
I refuse to believe that Neil would do anything that you're suggesting.
you just don't want to believe it. No, he doesn't love me. I know it. I accept it. I'm gonna go put my best front. I'm gonna put on my best front. Give the kids as warm and loving a holiday as I can, and then Friday morning, we're gone.
Interior room. Neil lets the curtain close, walks back to the bed and gets in. Exterior motel. Dell's sitting in the car looking at the motel room. His eyes shift to the heavy skies. She stands, picks up her teacup and takes it to the sink and crosses to the door.
Paid for the house. It's his, and he can share it with his darling Dell.
She exits into the dark dining room. Interior motel room. Neil's in bed. He exhales loudly, fluffs his pillows, sighs. Fluffs the pillow again. He can't relax. He shifts his body, lays still for a moment, then sits up. He gets out of bed and walks to the window. He pulls the curtain aside and looks out. Dell's sitting in the burned out car, bundled against the cold. Snowflakes drift down on the car and the ground. Close up on Neil, a moment of compassion, then a moment of reason.
We can just skip the Dell's line. Sorry, this is weird. Go for it. Top of 133.
Ray, honey, you were right as rain. Not the biggest pain in the butt that ever came down the pike. Meet a guy whose company I really enjoy. Then I go overboard. Smother the poor soul. Cause him more problems than he has a right to. Starting to wonder if I'm ever going to wake up. If I could just see you for a minute, you'd set me right. Good night, sweetheart.
He breathes a deep, soulful sigh. He settles into the seat and puts his hat on. The motel door opens, and Dell shifts his look to the motel. Neil's in the doorway, and Dell doesn't know what Neil wants.
You're gonna freeze to death out there.
In the motel room, Dell's sitting in a chair. Neil's on the bed. They're eating sunflower seeds.
You know how few people give a shit about curtain rings?
Who cares about lipstick ads?
Yeah, these to do with pretty girls. You know what shower rings are?
You know what lipstick is?
When I'm dead and buried, all I'll count for is a couple million shower curtains that haven't fallen down. Some legacy, huh?
My life's work is thrown away, burned, and recycled. Yours will last longer than mine.
What do you pull down a year?
I do okay.
You know what I claimed as income last year?
Well, that means nothing. Any second string player in the NFL makes more in a week than Van Gogh made in his lifetime.
Van Gogh Textiles up in Buffalo?
No, the painter.
Oh, yeah.
Money's no measurement of worth, true worth, a worth to the human race. I know because I have a lot of it and don't feel like I'm worth any more than when I was broke. In fact, I probably felt better about myself when I was broke.
Banged all around this country doing less and less each year. I talk a blue streak, but when it comes right down to it, I'm running on fumes. That briefcase that I said I got as a sales award, it was 12 years ago.
So?
Lost half my accounts to computer catalogs. Every year, half a dozen customers retire and the business goes with them. You ever read Death of a Salesman?
Sure.
Sometimes I find myself practically quoting Kenny Lomax, unconsciously quoting him.
Well, he was an older guy. You're young.
So what? Youth means diddly if you don't have anything to look to but growing old.
At the very least, at the absolute minimum, you have a woman you love to grow old with.
Dell doesn't reply.
You love her, don't you? Your wife?
Love isn't a big enough word, buddy.
So there you go. Start with that. You know how guys in this world have money and nobody to spend it on?
Dell is silent again.
Hey, I'm sorry I popped you in the gut.
I deserved it.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, sure I did. If I didn't have one foot in my mouth and the other in a bucket of shit, I wouldn't recognize myself.
Well, let me just close the conversation by saying you're one unique individual.
Unique. That's Latin for asshole.
As much trouble as I've had on this little journey, I'm sure someday I'll look back and have a good laugh.
Maybe.
Good night. And keep your hands to yourself.
If I hold anything, it'll be my own.
Neil rolls over.
You gonna have your smoke?
No.
Quitting?
My butt burned up in the car.
Consider quitting, will you?
My wife used to say that
When did she finally stop?
8 years ago, March.
Well, good advice. Take it. Night.
A long pause.
Sleep tight.
Exterior motel morning. The snowstorm blown in and left its white wrath. The cars filled to the brim with fresh snow. Inside the motel room, close up on the door, we see a fine line of light under the ill-fitting door. Snow is blown under the dusted carpet. See close up on a heater. It's in its location below an equally ill-fitting window. The heater sports a crown of ice. Interior motel room. Neil's laying on the bed in his underwear, curled into a ball without a pillow or a stitch of covering. We move across the other bed to see Dell has both pillows and all the blankets and sheets. Neil wakes up with a shiver. He looks up and looks at Dell, grabs his coat and throws it on. He shivers across the bathroom and goes inside. Dell stirs and emerges from the mountain of blankets. He's wearing his hat and gloves. Interior bathroom, Neil grabs a toilet brush and is sticking out of the toilet bowl. He removes it. We see a solid half globe of ice attached to it. Close up on the shower, it slides open to reveal Neil. His point of view, a grotesque assortment of icicles adorning the shower head pipes that have burst. The plastic drinking cup, Neil's toothbrush is frozen in the cup. Inside the bedroom, Dell sits up in the bed and scratches his head.
Nothing refreshes like a well-ventilated room. Hey, Neil.
You son of a.
Well, I took the liberty of tossing your shorts in the sink with a little tide. Wring them out and shoot them with a hairdryer. He'll be fresh as springtime.
Close up on the sink, Neil's shorts are frozen in ice. Close up on Neil as he looks down at the frozen shorts with a slack, weary jaw. Interior motel later. Neil and Dell are in the car. They've scooped the snow off the front seats. The back is still piled high with snow. A snowplow has cleared the lot, leaving a knee-high wall of snow around the sides and back of the car. Neil has the car in reverse and is gunning the engine. The car is stuck. The wheels are spinning and nothing is happening. Neil lets off the gas.
We're stuck tighter than 2 hot dogs on their wedding night.
You want to get out and push?
Sure.
Neil puts the car in park.
Oh, forget it. You'll screw up your back.
He gets out of the car and Dell slides over and springs into the driver's side. Neil goes around to the front and Dell puts the Lincoln in reverse and hits the gas. Neil pushes with all his soul. Nothing. Dell lets off the gas.
We have to rock it. Get alongside.
Neil repositions himself on the passenger side. He grips the door handle and outside mirror. Dell drops the car and forward and guns it. Neil pulls on the car. Dell shifts quickly to reverse and guns it. Neil pushes and they continue rocking the car back and forth.
Oh, she's starting to grip a little more. Here, put your balls into it.
I am.
Squeeze your ass and think of Nazis. We're moving this hunk of shit.
Dell throws the car in reverse. It rocks high up on the ice groove.
One more and we're home free.
He throws the car in forward and guns it. Rocks a little more, catches, leaps forward and plows into the motel fence and one of the pillars supporting the roof. Oops. Interior motel room, the car smacks the wall, splits the paneling, and breaks the window. Exterior motel lot, Neil standing, stunned, in the clear spot where the car once was. Interior motel room, the car backs out of the hole in the wall. In the lot, Neil steps aside and Dell plows back into frame. Up over the wall of snow and into the clear. Neil jumps in the car and Dell dumps it forward and they roar out of the lot and spin out onto the highway. Exterior highway, the charred Hulk roars down the highway. Inside the car, Dell is driving, Neil is shotgun. They're freezing their asses off. The heater's pumping full blast and they're shouting to each other over the roar of the wind.
You ever been to Hawaii?
Once.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maria and I were going there on our honeymoon. We were all set, and I got a call from America Light and Fixture for my job. I not only blame them for all my career misery, I blame them for depriving me and Marie of a honeymoon.
You can always go. It's still there.
How you doing for time?
I don't know. I gave up my watch.
I feel bad about that. Here, why don't you take mine?
It's okay.
No, really, take it. I'd feel much better.
I don't want your watch.
Well, not good enough for you?
No, not at all. I just wouldn't feel right taking your watch.
Dell lifts his knees again to steer as he takes his hands off the wheel to undo his watch.
Take it or I'll throw it out on the highway.
Just watch the road.
You're taking the goddamn watch if I have to shove it down your throat.
He's having trouble getting it off. He glances down and then at the road.
Watch the road.
No problem. After last night, I'm all eyes and ears. Here, give me a hand with this damn thing.
I don't want the watch.
You're making me feel like crap. You're taking the watch. Here.
He holds out his wrist. Neil takes off the glove and starts to work on the watch.
It's a funny little clasp underneath. It's a bitch to get off.
My fingers are so numb.
Here, right here.
He takes the other hand off the wheel and points to the clasp. Exterior highway further ahead. A state police car is parked alongside the road with his radar gun, clocking motorists. The burned out car hustles past, close up on the cop as he stares at the semi-destroyed vehicle with the top down, doing 90 with two guys hunched over in their seats as he hits the siren and the lights. Inside the car, Neil drops Dell's wrist and turns around. The police car is gaining on them. Neil turns back in panic.
Shit, how fast are you going?
Dell looks at the speedometer. In his point of view, the entire dash is melted. Interior car, Dell's hunched over looking at it.
It's hard to say. The speedometer's melted.
Pull over.
Exterior highway. The car rolls to a stop. The cop car pulls up behind it, and the cop gets out and saunters up to the Lincoln. He looks it over carefully.
Top of the morning to you, officer.
Hi.
What are you What are you driving here?
A 1986 Turbo Grand Detroit Town Car.
Cop looks in the charred back seats.
We had a small fire last night.
You know how fast you were going?
Well, like I was just telling my friend, the speedometer's melted. It's a little hard to say with any degree of accuracy.
About 98 miles an hour, 120 Ks per hour.
Sounds fair. Why are you telling me kilometers? Like I said, it's hard to tell, although come to think of it, it sure was windy.
You consider this vehicle, sir, fit for the highway?
Well, it doesn't look very pretty, but it gets the job done.
No inside mirror, no functioning gauges.
Hilarious, even though the radio works. Crisp as a bell.
What are you fellas up to here?
We're just trying to get home for the holidays.
Cop reaches into his pocket and pulls out his ticket book.
Let me see your license.
Dell reaches into his coat for his wallet.
I can't let you fellas go on ahead in this vehicle.
You can't what?
It's not fit for the road.
Dell hands over his license.
You'll follow me to the station and the vehicle will be impounded until much time as it is made fit for travel on Wisconsin state roads.
Do you realize it's Thanksgiving?
I got a turkey sandwich in the ear, fellas. Fella. I'm
Car,
well
I think is
aware.
what you're trying to say.
Car. Oh, it's not six zero. Thank you. I'm still impounding your car though. You boys didn't have a little eye opener this morning, did you?
Neil's thinking.
Us? No, me. I don't drink.
You in the drug business?
Shower curtain rings. Drugs?
Excuse me, did I hear you correctly?
When I see a vehicle of this sort with a couple of squirrely looking guys like you in it, I wouldn't be serving my Cincinnati citizens if I didn't ask a few questions.
Did you say Wisconsin State Highways?
I believe that's what I said, sir.
Why did you say that? And also, why did you say citizen right?
Well, you know what? I'm still impounding your car because you're on Wisconsin State Highway,
Neil looks
sir.
at Dell. He's puzzled.
You fellas don't know where you are. I
Not
know
exactly. Can you help us out?
You're about 6 miles outside of
Don't tell 'em.
Akna. Oh boy, hold on. Oconomowoc. You're outside of Wisconsin.
We overshot Chicago.
We did?
You gentlemen are under arrest.
Exterior small town courthouse. Dell and Neil come to the front doors, and Neil's limping a little.
How do you feel?
Oh, just great.
And I've never been strip searched before. Thank God you were clean. That's probably why they didn't bother checking me out. Just chalk it up to experience. Must have checked you pretty good. You were in there for a long time.
Why don't you shut up?
I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know how in the hell we got so lost. I was watching those signs religiously. From now on, I won't touch a car.
We don't have a car anymore, you dickhead.
True. I don't think there's much point in trying to fix it either. Pretty well shot. You have insurance, right?
They reach the curb where Dell's trunk is and suitcases are piled.
That's the rental car company's problem.
Yeah. Well, maybe not.
What do you mean?
Well, since I was using your card and I felt guilty about it, I tried to save you a few bucks.
Don't say it, Dell. For your health and safety, don't say it.
I didn't take out any insurance.
Interior coffee shop. Dell's holding an ice cube wrapped in a napkin to his eye. Neil shuffles over to the booth and sits down.
You know, this is twice in the last 24 hours that you've slugged me.
I just called my wife, and you'll be happy to know she hung up on me.
Oh, no.
Dell lowers the ice cube.
She didn't believe a word I said.
Well, I'd be happy to confirm everything you'd like with her.
Dinner hits the table right after the football game.
He looks at the wall clock.
Right now it's 11:15.
Well, let's pray for double overtime.
I have a house full of family, a wife that's ready to kill me.
Neil, I'm going to step up to this challenge.
Please don't.
No, I am. I'll have to have you home before the bird's out of the oven.
He gets up from the booth.
Dell, I'm begging you to sit down and leave the situation alone.
What can happen? You get home or you don't. Isn't it worth one last shot?
No, things are bad enough. Leave it alone.
Neil, you've hit rock bottom. Doesn't get much lower than having a state trooper shine a flashlight up your can.
He hurries out of the coffee shop. The handful of patrons in the coffee shop turn and look at Neil. They've all overheard Dell's remark, and Neil smiles meekly.
So, you met Sergeant Kunder, did you?
The patrons burst into laughter, and Neil shrinks in his seat.
He's bent as a willow branch in a hurricane. Happy Thanksgiving to you, stranger.
The cafe is rocking with howls of laughter. Exterior street later. Neil's standing in a corner, leaning against the mailbox, feeling his misery. He hears the gasp of air brakes, and he looks down to the street. His point of view, a semi rolls to a stop, and Dell climbs down from the passenger side.
Our ship has come in.
Close up on Neil with a wary look. Close up on Dell as he waves Neil on.
It's free and it's nonstop. This guy's a little freaky about people riding up in his cab, but what the hell do we care? We're heading home.
Exterior highway. The semi rolls across the Wisconsin countryside. Interior trailer. Dell and Neil are in the trailer surrounded by wooden crates.
Beats walking, huh? We'll be in Chicago in 3 hours. Jeez.
Yeah.
Smells, doesn't it?
Neil nods.
Guess you wouldn't mind if I slipped off my shoes now, huh?
Neil shakes his head. No.
Too bad it's so cold.
A long pause. Neil's not in the mood for any conversation.
Too bad we don't have a box of crackers.
Neil stares at Dell. He smiles. Exterior Chicago. The truck barrels down the expressway, heading into the city. Exterior depot, the semi backs into a loading dock. The truck back doors, a hand jigs the lock and swings the door open. Dell and Neil are sitting on Dell's trunk.
We're here. The Toddlin Town.
Exterior loading dock. The truck driver hands his waybill to the dock worker. Neil and Dell pull the trunk out of the back of the truck.
I lost my spot.
Damn it,
Bottom of
Chris.
150.
Oh, I'm gonna get a cup of coffee. You jokers start unloading.
He heads down the dock. Exterior loading dock, Dell and Neil. Neil looks around slowly at Dell. Dell smiles.
Nothing's free in the world. You're in the advertising business, right? You don't know.
Neil holds his stare. Dell tries to work his way out of the jam.
It won't take long. This is nothing. I once had to wash out a cement truck. I'll let you operate the forklift. You ever operate a forklift? It's a kick.
Close up on the TV screen. A black and white picture of a football game, third quarter stats. Interior warehouse office. The driver and the dock worker area in the office watching the game. Dell and Neil appear in the doorway.
We're out of here.
Done?
How much time left in the game?
Fourth quarter's just starting.
Dell looks at Neil with a smile.
You're home. It's in the bag.
Neil actually smiles. Exterior elevated train platform. Dell and Neil lug the steamer trunk into the stairs. They set it down. Dell reaches into his pocket and removes the last of his money.
I'll pop for tokens. Where you headed?
Wilmette.
I'll be right back.
Dell shuffles over to the ticket window. Neil tries to straighten himself up. He brushes off his coat, pats his hair down. Exterior platform. Dell and Neil are on the platform waiting for the trains.
I can't say I had a great time, but I can say that after all is said and done, you did get me home.
Next time we'll try to go for a little more comfort than style.
I hope there isn't a next time.
A train pulls into the station.
This is you.
Neil offers his hand to Dell. Dell clasps it with both hands.
You're a hell of a good man, Neil. I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused you.
It all came out in the wash. Don't worry about it.
The train pulls to a stop and the doors open.
Have a nice holiday.
You too. Give my best to everyone you love. Hope someday I can meet him.
Neil gives Dell a bear hug and runs down the car's open door and disappears inside. Dell waves to him. Interior train, Neil slides into a seat and breathes a huge sigh of relief.
What a trip.
He reaches across the aisle and snares a discarded newspaper off the seat. He opens it and the train jolts ahead. Exterior Wilmette subway station. A neat little brick building in the sedate suburb. A taxi pulls away from the front. Exterior station, the train pulls in, the doors open. Neil steps off the train and heads to the station. He's buried in the newspaper, reading as he walks. In the station, Neil pushes open the door, walks into the station, he's still reading the paper. Suddenly, he falls out of frame. Close up on Neil, he picks himself up off the floor and turns to see what he tripped over. He's startled. His point of view is Dell's trunk. Close up on Neil, he turns angrily. Dell's sitting on the wooden bench and smiles sheepishly as he clears his throat.
Hi.
Neil is dumbfounded.
Dell, what are you doing here?
Dell looks away. Neil walks over to him and Dell looks up at him and doesn't say anything.
You said you were going to Homewood. What are you doing here?
I don't live in Homewood.
I'm not getting into this, Dell. I don't know what you're up to, but I'm going home.
Dell nods. He's serious and somber. The old enthusiasm and bullshit has evaporated. Neil heads to the doors and starts to exit. Stops. A long beat, and he kicks the door.
God damn it.
Dell jumps from the sudden noise, and Neil turns to him.
Go ahead, Neil. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be here.
You're right, Dell. I don't know what the deal is with you, but you ought to be home. I ought to be home. I don't understand you. I don't understand any of this. I've said goodbye to you 10 times in 2 days.
I know. Go on home. I'm fine.
Don't give me that shit, Dell. Why don't you go home?
Dell looks at the floor.
Huh?
Dell doesn't answer.
What's the matter with you? Why the hell don't you go home?
Dell looks up at him.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't? Why not?
There's a long pause. Close up on Dell. He's serious and dying inside. Close up on Neil, who waits for a response, and he holds his anger at bay. Dell looks away and looks back.
I don't have a home.
Neil's anger fades to be replaced with confusion. Close up on Dell as he looks at Neil. Sorry he's burdened him, sorry for everything he's done, but lost and down and completely out of emotional options.
Marie's been dead for 8 years.
Close up on Neil like a knife through his heart. Inside the train station later, Dell and Neil are sitting on facing benches and Dell's smoking.
She was sick when we got married. She just never got better. Once she was gone, I sold the house. Didn't much feel like being there. My life was empty enough as is. Couldn't handle the thought of rambling around that place without Marie there, so I just closed it up, took a few things, and been on the road ever since.
The trunk?
Dell reaches in his pocket and comes up with a key. He unlocks the trunk and opens it. In the trunk, the remnants of Dell's domestic life: a lamp, some sheets, towels, pictures, a couple pans, fragile things wrapped in newspaper. Neil leans back from the trunk and closes the lid.
I didn't have much family. Brother in Montana, some cousins. Marie's folks died back to back a year after we married. They were pretty old. She was a late child. Didn't get the chance to have kids. She wanted 3 though. 2 boys and a girl.
He smiles sadly.
I number about 300 motels as my home. I sort of attach myself to people from time to time, like with you, especially around the holidays. I can make it in March, July, and October. I don't mind it. It's hard around this time of year. Never had much of a chance to be a family man, but it gets really hard. You know what it is?
Neil shakes his head. He's about to cry.
I don't get to give any of myself to anybody. It's not the getting, I mean, it's the giving. I sat on that plane with you and I thought about you heading home to be with your people. And Tuesday night when you were in the shower and I looked at the picture of your kids, man, I thought you got to be the luckiest man on earth to go home and put those little guys on your knee and bug them and kiss them. And I'm 39 years old and I've never had that, and I never will. I'm sorry about all this. I kind of lost control this time. Every year since Marie's been gone, I've gotten closer and closer to losing it. Usually I head for a church. I can feel like I'm part of something when I'm in a church. This time, I guess I just didn't get to a church fast enough. I just couldn't let go.
He looks at his watch.
Look, I vowed I'd never burden anyone with this, and I broke my vow, held you away from your family. I caused you a hell of a lot of trouble. You better run.
Neil stares at the floor, devastated by Dell's story.
I'm gonna head back downtown.
He stands up.
I know the firm you work for. I read your business card. I've kept a sort of tab on what I owe you, and I'll get it all back to you. And I just want to say, in 15 years on the road, I've never met a nicer guy than you.
He bends over and snaps the lock on the trunk.
And that comes straight from the heart. God bless you, buddy. People like you and plan would be in good shape.
He lifts one end of the trunk and picks up his suitcase and sample case.
When I give my thanks, it's going to be for meeting you.
He starts to drag the trunk back to the platform, and Neil looks at Dell.
Same here.
Dell stops. He looks back at Neil and gives him a wink and continues to cross the station. Exterior residential street, house, dusk. It's dark. Cars are parked up and down both sides of the street. Lights are burning in a big old 2-story colonial. Interior house, family room, night. The football game's just ended. Neil's father-in-law, Martin, and his father, Walt, are in the family room watching TV. A 2-year-old boy, Seth, is asleep in Walt's arms. A 6-year-old girl, Marty, is on the floor, combing her My Little Pony's hair. A 5-year-old boy, little Neil, is sharing a chair with Martin.
I'll tell you, the Lions never fail to disappoint. Ain't that true? They won, for God's sake. It was a squeaker, Walt. If they win, it's always a squeaker. What's a squeaker? You just watched one. I did, and I didn't know it.
It's a
What's
repeat.
a
Yeah, I can go to
Oh,
kitchen.
yeah.
Yeah, you're all good.
Oh my God, Travis. Interior kitchen. Neil's wife, Sue, is finishing a relish tray. Her mother, Joy, is stirring gravy. And her mother-in-law, Peg, is whipping mashed potatoes with an egg beater.
All I know, Neil could be splattered all over some highway somewhere.
Peg shuts off the egg beater. It's her son.
Are you just trying to upset me?
Oh, of course not. Last time he called, he said what? He said he and this Del Griffith person were in Omnawak, Wisconsin.
Ah, that's how it is. Martin and I have friends in Omnawak. The Cooners there, boys state trooper.
I think he's full of crap. He said the rental car burned up. He said he got robbed. He said he had this Del Griffith. Who's Del Griffith? I don't know, some guy he met in the airport in New York.
Sue stops her work. Interior house foyer night. Little Neil's crossing the foyer, heading for the dining room. Sue stomps in from the living room and heads up the stairs.
When are we going to eat?
Never.
Never. Never again.
The grandfathers come into the foyer from the living room. Joy and Peg come in from the dining room. Seth stumbles to Walt and grabs his pant leg. Marty peeks through the grandpas.
What's the fuss?
She's a little upset
What's the problem?
because Daddy's not here. Oh, that's the kid. Because Daddy's not here. Oh, I'll go and have a word with her. Why don't you all go sit down?
Joy starts for the stairs and the doorbell rings.
Who the heck's calling at this hour on Thanksgiving?
Marty bursts through the grandpas and charges the door. She grabs the knob with both hands and pulls it open.
Daddy!
Her point of view, Neil and Del Griffith are standing at the door holding the trunk.
Hi, sweetie.
Interior foyer, the Peg leans up the stairs and calls to Sue.
Susan, Neil's home.
Interior foyer, Neil and Del lug the trunk into the house and set it down. Neil closes the door.
Did I miss the turkey?
We're never eating again.
What?
I said we're never eating again. Oh yeah. What the hell happened to you fellas?
Dad, this is Del Griffith. This is my dad, Walt Page.
Del shakes Walt's hand. Neil introduces everybody to Del, and Del shakes hands all around.
It's been a long time since I sat behind a turkey.
Might be a little done.
I want to thank you all for letting me be a part of your holiday. You'll never know how much it means to me. I've always had a lot of things to be thankful for, but never more than right now.
Same here, pal.
Marty, do you want to say something?
Marty looks at her for a moment, and Susan nods to her to help her remember what she has to say.
Oh yeah. Keep high the board with what? Plenteous cheer. Oh, plenteous cheer. With plenteous cheer and gather to the what? Feast. And
She thinks as hard as she can.
Toast the sturdy pilgrim band,
toast the sturdy pilgrim bands
whose courage never ceased.
Everybody joins in.
Yeah, we can go to the last page.
Give
praise
praise
to that
to
almighty,
that almighty
gracious,
gracious
one.
one.
Gracious one.
Interior foyer night. We hold the trunk sitting in the middle of the room as the voice spill out from the dining room.
By whom their
By
whom
steps
their
were led.
steps were led.
Thanks
Thanks
unto the
Thanks
harvest.
unto the harvest, Lord.
Lord,
Send
us our daily
Bread. Amen.
Amen.
Fade down. End title. The end.
Wow. Thank you, everybody, for reading through this extremely long version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We got through it pretty quickly, actually. So thanks for watching, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving and goodbye.